Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's take a look at these charts. Let's see, 4-hour bearish candlestick followed by a doji, followed by, this is a hammer right here essentially showing a reversal pattern. Then you have this doji, then you have this bearish engulfing. So looking like a possible trend. Usually this is like, showing that it's going to go up, this hammer formation, but then you have this doji, which is indecision, showing that there's essentially not as much buying pressure in this bearish. But this hasn't closed yet. Obviously on this channel we're still looking at the monthly, and so we did close that long position on Ethereum yesterday in profits. It was just better to close it, and it looks like on Bitcoin we've gone down since then, which is what we were predicting. So it's just better to close it in profits and make some money then. Although I think Ethereum did go up a little bit, but like I always say on this channel, it's 100%, is that Bitcoin and Ethereum are highly correlated. We're going over some ideas on Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum's still where it was yesterday when we were going over this. There was a lot of ideas that we were talking about here. This is double bottom idea. This is the uptrending channel idea. And this looks really good. It's just in the short term, we do have this wick right here, which definitely you have to factor in. When you look at the charts, when you just look at and you glance at the charts, it looks like a consolidation pattern. But technically you do have this wick right here, which does make it a higher high, which is what this means, higher high, higher low. So we are in an uptrend. But I mean, I was thinking about this multiple times before, and I'm gonna draw I don't really know what anybody else's sentiment is, but I feel like once we break this high right here, Ethereum's price is just going to explode. And setting up a trade like potentially, let's see, where's our trading tool? I mean, this is just what I'm doing. I don't even necessarily recommend this, but this is what I'm doing, and I always show you guys what I'm doing. Essentially, setting up a trade like right here, opening a long position. I would have like a 1% stop loss. I'd have a 1% stop loss on maybe 5 or 10x leverage. Open the position right here if it's followed by volume. I mean, right here I'm looking for volume. If we do break above this level right here, as soon as we break above this, I'm looking for volume. I would potentially open a long position, and then I would definitely do a 3-to-1, and then I would be extremely conservative taking profits. So I'd be doing a 3-to-1, like as in like, the majority, but you always want to ride your winners. So if you just keep winning and there's no selling pressure, obviously you should stay in your position. But essentially something like that is, it's not necessarily textbook, but it is in the fact that you're trading. This would essentially break into a higher high, and it totally invalidate, if not break out, this consolidation pattern right here. So that's just an idea that I'm looking for on Ethereum if I was to enter into a small trade on like 5 or 10x leverage, something like that. With a really tight, like what I say is like a really tight stop loss. And I'm looking for volume to make that position. Like we say, we got all these double bottom idea, higher high. Like, so essentially like right here, bottom, bottom, double bottom, breakout. essentially right here you nearly have right here an inverse head and shoulder. So this is the first inverse head shoulder. This is the first inverse head, second inverse shoulder. So inverse head and shoulders idea right here. Or like again, you have this idea of you come down and you get this support resistance idea. Support, support, break it, resistance comes up, support. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking about Ethereum. Again, we exited our long position probably like around this area right here. You know, it was last night. I was just counting back on the candlesticks. It just wasn't worth like the risk. Like, yeah, we could have kept it open and possibly made gains, but like, why? Why put the risk? Let's look at BTCD. So Ethereum seems to be doing better than Bitcoin today, and it probably has to do with BTCD. BTCD has dropped a little bit since yesterday. I know this was just that massive, you know, Elon Musk spike, but before the price was consolidating, and it was around that 84. Consolidating down, and like I said before when I was talking about it yesterday, you essentially in BTCD you have this clear definitive downtrend, and then there were some ideas like maybe a double bottom playing out, but it doesn't. But this was like nearly entirely invalidated at this point. This giant pump is, you know, you put a Fibonacci retracement on it, or you could put a trend-based Fibonacci, and they're both going to say that this pump's done, which should continue to the downside. And essentially, we're looking for levels like this and levels like this to break. So I'll put up. So you have this right here. And some of my altcoins, I don't really want to tell you guys about my altcoins that I have, just because I got into them a while back. Like I got Compound, Synthetics. What else do I have? I have Compound, Synthetics. But you have to like, the reason I didn't want to talk about them before on the channel is because I got into these a while back, and so I'm not necessarily saying these are good buys right now. These were just good projects back when I was in the market picking some stuff up during accumulation time. So I had Aave, Synthetics, Compound. I had some Stellar, but that's more of a large cap. I'm mostly talking about mid caps. I had some LRC. I call it Loper. I don't remember exactly how it's pronounced. Let me see. I've been on Coinbase. So essentially, yeah, I'd be looking at this level right here to potentially put in like a double top. This level right here to essentially put in this double top. And then this level right here to essentially have this whole fractal idea of these are just different possible necklines and different lower lows. So I'd be looking at all those levels as potential. They're not really going to be support, but if we break those levels, those are going to be extremely bearish, which is good for altcoins on Bitcoin dominance. Alright, let me see. I'm gonna pull up my Coinbase account and see what I have. Let's see, what do I have? Because I had like some coins, and like I felt bad because like it's altcoin season, and I told you guys that we were mostly gonna hold Ethereum, and at this point I just don't think that like, I still think Ethereum's super undervalued and all that good stuff, and I think Bitcoin's going to continue to consolidate. I think the main thing that we really talked about on this channel, which is absolutely huge, and which I haven't heard any other channel talk about, let's see. I mean, we called everything on this channel. I mean, it's like the title looks like it's clickbait, but like we literally called everything against everybody. We have like literally 100% accuracy, which is just insane. Like, there's never been something that I've said where it's like not come true, which is crazy. Now I'll tell you guys if I don't know something, but when I say something, you know, if I say Bitcoin's gonna drop, it drops. When I say Bitcoin's gonna pump, it pumps. But you know, we need more validation points on this ascending triangle or this ascending wedge right here. But this could potentially be the new pennant right here. Like this could be the new consolidation pattern right here. And if Bitcoin can like, and this is what I was talking about earlier, yesterday, is essentially if Bitcoin can hit in this range right here and consolidate in this range before bouncing lower off this level, this would be massively good for altcoins. If Bitcoin can just trade in this massive pennant between this dark blue line and this green line right here. Let's see. So what kind of altcoins do I have? And again, the reason I didn't bring XRP is just pumping. They're pumping the price of XRP. I just hold a little bit of it. You know, everybody knows they're trying to pump the XRP, Wall Street bets kind of deal. Um, but I hold the XRP because I've held it, but I actually transferred a lot of my XRP originally from XRP to Stellar Lumens as a more conservative hedge, but still getting that good exposure because they're both highly correlated. Because, like I talked about before, you know, we only cover the facts on this channel and we're highly educated in cryptocurrency, so we're not going to tell you something like, oh, XRP is a scam, because it's not necessarily a scam. Yes, the founders do dump the coins, but it does, you know, we gave all the facts on it yesterday. So, you know, there's a big story to XRP, and a lot of people don't know the full story. But so I just hold a very, very small amount of XRP, but I'm basically holding it, and then I'm probably gonna trade it after the pump. I'll hold the line, I don't care, but um, after this pump that we have on XRP, if it hits $3 or something, I'll probably convert it into something else. I just don't like, in my opinion, it's like too much of a hassle. Like I already own a little bit of XRP. It's just too much a hassle to go on another exchange like KuCoin and get it for the pump. Like I'd rather just hold what I hold. All right, so I have Yearn Finance, which I had thought for a few days had been like undervalued, and then I was telling you guys, I was literally telling you guys, oh my gosh, I told you guys. I said, listen, guys, DeFi is huge. Decentralized finance is huge. And literally, when you talk about market sectors like in cryptocurrency that are highly correlated, like usually when different sectors pump, they pump together. And Aave in decentralized finance was absolutely murking the freaking game. And I told you guys, I said Compound is right on that same boat with Aave, and it's not pumping. And like I literally like I almost felt stupid putting it on the channel because I was like for like 2 or 3 days straight I was just like Compound's so underrated. And then this week we just had a massive 54% pump. Like I was almost starting to lose faith in Compound. I was like, why is Compound not pumping? And I'm like, it's a newer coin. Maybe I was just wrong. We're never wrong on this channel apparently, and the markets are backing it up. I thought I was wrong. I literally told you guys on the channel. I said, look into Compound. Guys, it's literally so underrated, and it just pumped 54% on the week. It's up 10% on the day. Um, I hold like LRC. It's up 23% on the day, but like a lot of these coins, like you got to hit the right spot on them. So even though I back these projects and I like these projects, the reason I don't bring them up on the channel a lot is because you know, you got to get a perfect entry price on some of these. I also hold Algorand and I hold it on Coinbase, which gives me that 6% APY. Don't get too caught up on APYs. You know, if you have a bad, you know, these cryptos can be very volatile and you can lose that APY like almost instantly in a day. Like you can literally go down 6% in a day, and that's your APY in a year. So don't get too caught up on dividends. But you know, if you're gonna be holding this thing long term, and I've held this thing for so long, check out all my rewards. Like I don't hold like a massive amount of it, but check out all my rewards. Let me turn down the brightness so y'all can see this. Check out all my awards on Algorand. Like I don't even. It's like all right here. Like check this out. Like look how much I've been holding this coin. So like I don't want you guys to like get into it like right now specifically, but if you guys are looking into cryptocurrencies and you're like, well, what are some really good cryptos? I held Synthetics, Aave, I'm telling you guys about my mid coins. Compound, Lopering, Algorand. I hold some Cosmos, but literally, Cosmos was like it pumped really good last month, and so on that pump last month, I switched a lot of my compound on, or a lot of my Cosmos. I switched because it pumped last month. It could pump again soon, but don't take my word for it because I'm not even 100% on that. Cosmos is relatively good, but um, it's kind of like I would rather put my money in something like Polkadot if you're looking for like interconnectability. But so you get an APY, and I put my Cosmos pumped last month 52%. I put those gains into Algorand. That was my game plan last month. I hold Filecoin. I hold an ultra small amount of Filecoin. It just got out of a falling knife formation, but it is still in a downtrend. Until that downtrend breaks, it's not looking too hot. So I just hold a little bit of Filecoin. If you actually look into the use case of Filecoin, it looks really good. It's just on the daily, it's in a downtrend. And then on the weekly, it's looking like it could have a bounce and then a move higher and a consolidation. But right now, it's technically in consolidation, like trying to form a consolidation pattern on the weekly. And then it looks like it's in a very volatile consolidation trying, or it looks like it's in a consolidation channel that's very volatile on the monthly, if not like a megaphone formation. Um, and then, so yeah, I mean, Filecoin, I like the use case for it a lot. I'm gonna hold an ultra small amount. Like, I literally don't even have like 0.1% of my portfolio, but I have a big cryptocurrency portfolio, but I don't even hold 0.1% of my portfolio in Filecoin, but that is something that I do hold. I'm looking for like a reversal, I'm looking for something. I just want money in it because I actually do really like the use case. Um, I don't like Dash. A lot of people talk really good about Dash. I don't like Dash. I don't think it might be a fast crypto, but there's cryptos that are faster with transactions. And like if it's like trying to be like Bitcoin or whatever, it's just not happening. Payment methods, like there's so many different, like Dash is like almost, I think Dash is a Gen 1 crypto, so I'm not even about that. EOS, like I told you guys, it's kind of like Litecoin. It has amazing performance, but like, and it does tend to perform and hold value and all those things and pump when everything else pumps on. It's more of a large cap, so I wouldn't really recommend getting into it right now, but I don't like the use case on it. You got Ethereum Classic, the derivatives on like Ethereum Classic. You talk about Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin whatever, all these different Satoshi Nakamoto's vision. All these coins like they're not gonna they never the community hates them. Kyber Network. I actually did use Kyber Network as a decentralized exchange. It's relatively decent. My only issue with it is the Ethereum gas fees are very high. So I actually have some Ocean Protocol, which, unless you have Binance, and I don't recommend getting Binance, I got kicked off of Binance for not being like eligible to use it. Like they really cracked down on it. It's in an uptrend on the daily, and it's looking pretty hot. I mean, it just broke out of a major downtrend, and it looks pretty hot. But it's powered by. I use Kyber Swap, which is a derivative of Kyber Network, and I love it. I love it. Sometimes there's maintenance on the coins, and that's fine. But like I said, like the Ethereum gas fees on it, like I'm trying to sell some Ocean Protocol tokens and potentially, and the Ethereum gas fees are really cutting into my ROI. So that's something to really think about Kyber Network. Litecoin, same thing as EOS tokens. It has a good track record. I just don't think it's a very good coin. Maker, you're talking about decentralized finance, lending applications. It's relative. It's a relatively decent, decentralized application. If you can get a good deal on it, make a quick buck. That's fine. I wouldn't put my money into it. I just think there's better projects on some mid caps. You got Numeraire. Numeraire is, and I'm going over all the different cryptocurrencies because, like, why am I talking about altcoins? It's alt season. Bitcoin's literally doing nothing right now. Like, there's no reason to be talking about Bitcoin right now. It's literally, I mean, we already covered Bitcoin. Like, there's nothing really more to talk about. You know, it looks like it found support on this moving average. So, I mean, the main thing that people are wanting to know about in crypto right now is altcoins. I tried to just say, get Ethereum and be happy, but like everybody, like this is really the only like decent content. Like, I'm not gonna just sit here and read a consolidation chart all day. Like, obviously the trend is obviously pointing downwards, like into consolidation. So Numeraire, so I'm going off of the Coinbase because you guys most likely have Coinbase accounts. So this is Numeraire, it's AI technology to essentially, what do they do? I didn't like the technology entirely. It's AI technology to like something about like numbers or something. Literally, it's Numeraire. I forget what they do. It's like it's not barcodes, but it's some AI technology. I wasn't a big fan of it. Orchid is a decentralized VPN, relatively important, but it's like, why do you need a decentralized VPN? So essentially, a VPN is something that you can basically say that you're in a different country. You can use VPNs for all sorts of use cases, but a decentralized VPN, um, I don't know about that. It's performed relatively good. It's up. Um, and the only thing that I really have to say really good about Orchid, I mean, if you're for a decentralized VPN, like, then that's great. And like, I did at one point have money on Orchid, and I did make money on Orchid, and like, I'm not saying it's a bad project. I just think that there's more valuable projects out there. Um, but it's not a bad coin. I'm not saying Orchid's a bad coin, but it's just like we already have VPNs. Do you really need a decentralized? That's fine. It powers the network. It's relatively good. Um, but the only thing I can say good about the only thing I can say good about Orchid is this. I can say that out of, currencies, that cryptocurrencies, I think Orchid is, if Orchid's not, it's the biggest decentralized VPN, but I'm pretty sure it's the only project that's a decentralized VPN. And then on the negative side of that, so that's the pro, that's the bullish argument, and then the bearish argument to Orchid would be, like, we already have VPNs. Like, Nordic VPN is already top standard industry. So then you have Ren, and Ren has been doing huge. It did 80%, 89% this month. And basically, what Ren does is it gives you the ability to wrap your Bitcoin and use it on the Ethereum network, which is absolutely massive. A lot of people want to get involved with Ethereum, and their problem is that they have all this Bitcoin and they want to have the best possible way to transfer, say $10,000, $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. Maybe they don't want to go through exchange, or they want to have like the lowest fees and the most ease transferring that much Bitcoin. Maybe they don't want to bring it to exchange. And so Wrap Bitcoin, Wrap Ethereum, those are great. Ren gives you the ability to transfer from Bitcoin network to Ethereum network. And you've seen a massive amount of supply for that. So I think really you've already missed the boat really with Ren. Like, there was a massive, but it's still a good investment, and there still could be a lot of demand. But like earlier when everybody was talking about how Ethereum was the move over Bitcoin, like that was the time to get Ren, I think. And we saw a massive pump on it. And I was meaning to talk about it on the channel, but it just wasn't the move. Like, I'm not really a big altcoin guy, like, specifically. Then you have Synthetics. I have Synthetics. Synthetics, was huge. I got in a while back. I don't know if I would necessarily invest in it right now. It's up 157% on the month. Essentially, what synthetics is synthetics derivatives, basically artificially matching the price of real world assets like oil and other things like that synthetically on a decentralized application. So basically, giving a synthetic derivatives market, which for things like oil, which is huge. Um, People are very bullish on it. Then you have Graph, lots of bullish momentum on this. Graph for the longest time was in a from like when I first started like really looking into it, like December 2020. It's relatively newer, all the way down to January 12th. Around January 12th. Graph was in a falling knife formation. I was like, nah, don't touch this. Wait for the knife to fall. And then the knife fell around January 13th. That was the time to get in, really. And if you're still extremely bullish on it, it looks like it set a higher high and it has higher lows on the more macro time frames. I mean, look into these projects yourself, but people are bullish on Graph. You got Uniswap. So here's the thing about Uniswap. I actually went into SushiSwap. I went into SushiSwap maybe 4 months ago, and the only problem I have with Uniswap is it's kind of expensive, especially at these rates. It just pumped 30%. What did I trade my Uniswap for? I think I put it into. I think I traded my Uniswap in for what was it? Chainlink. I traded my Uniswap in for Chainlink, and I think that was a good call. Uniswap's good, but the only problem with Uniswap is you have things like SushiSwap, and you have things like Ren, and you have things. Well, I guess Ren wouldn't necessarily impact with because Ren is like Ethereum to Bitcoin. And so Uniswap is pretty important and it's probably the best in the space. There's competition, which is the downside, but the competition isn't really comp. So essentially, what Uniswap does is there's a lot of Ethereum ERC tokens, like you have like band pro or not band protocol. You have like basic attention token, Utrust, like Ocean Protocol. Like there's a massive amount. Reserve rights. All these different cryptocurrencies are called the ERC20 tokens. They're all built on the Ethereum network, and a lot of them that are smaller aren't offered on exchange. So what you do is you get a contract. You go on to CoinGecko. You get their I think it's called like a contract number. It's something like that, and you copy that address into Uniswap, and then it basically gives you the ability to buy those tokens. And some of these low cap coins, like if you're looking into altcoins and you see some low cap gems, most of them aren't going to be on even things like KuCoin or Binance. Not even Binance US, like not even Binance has a lot of these like really low cap gems, and so the only way to get them is through Uniswap. The only problem because I've used Uniswap a lot in the past. The only problem with Uniswap, so this is pretty bearish right here. We just got that confirmed, bearish close on the 4 hour. But with Uniswap, the only problems that I see are there is some competition. It's not really comp, but the other thing is Ethereum gas fees are stupid. Like you buy like and like when I mean stupid, I mean like you buy let's say $50 worth of what's that one low capper that I have? Farum Network. It's called like Farum Network. Let's say you buy $50 worth of that, you're probably going to be paying at least $25 in gas fees to process that transaction in Ethereum. That's cutting up 50% of your ROI right into the get-go. You got to massively speculate, and when we talk a lot about on this channel, compound losses compound. If you wouldn't have had that 50% loss cut in, so if you would have had that originally 50 and you didn't have to pay $25 in gas fees, instead of making um $50 or in total, or another additional 25, you would have had 50, and if it would have doubled, you would have made 100. Obviously, that's significant. And so, no matter how you slice it, even if you're speculating on gains, Uniswap, extremely high gas fees, just because I use the application. Not only have I invested in Uniswap in the past, I mean, I feel like an OG, like telling people like when I invested in a lot of these coins, but I mean, um, yeah, the main problem I have with Uniswap is the high Ethereum gas fees that cut into the ROI, and I think that they're so absurdly high that any investor is going to notice because they're so absurdly high. So that is definitely something to be thinking about with Uniswap. But we're in altcoin season, so for the demand for Uniswap is obviously going to be pretty high. Let's see, Zcash. I've had a lot of talk about Zcash. I've had a lot of people that are bullish on Zcash. And let me tell you about Zcash. Zcash is a privacy coin, and it's a derivative of a Bitcoin spinoff. Those, like I said, like Vcoin, like SV, SV, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. If you know, yeah, it's SV Bitcoin, like those kind, Bitcoin Cash. None of them tend to fare well over the long term, and none of them, the community basically says this about spinoffs. Like, we can keep making spinoffs every single day, and that's just going to water down the ecosystem. So let's just stick with the original Ethereum. Let's just stick with the original Bitcoin. Let's not honor these spinoffs, because if we're going to be doing a spinoff, like let's say we go with Ethereum Classic, then, in 2 years there's going to be another Ethereum Classic, and then the momentum for the community is never going to grow. It's like, a never-ending problem with spinoffs. So Zcash is a spinoff and a privacy coin, and so there's a lot of problems with privacy coins. SEC, a major target potentially. And people look at Zcash, and they look at how high the ICO started out for it, and they say, oh well, it's going to go back to that level. And there's absolutely nothing saying that it's going to go back to the level it started off. It was obviously extremely high appraised value when it first came out. It looked for market discovery, and it was basically ignorant investors that got into it originally and lost 98% of their portfolio. And so just really unfortunate, but it's not going back to anywhere close where it was. Um, at least without more money pouring into the market, and that is just not something that I would be betting on. Alright, let's see if we have any comments. Is the dump over? Okay, so we're consolidating right now, so this is looking relatively bullish. I want to see a 50% close at least. So right now I'm basically talking about altcoins because that is the move. Everybody in the crypto space knows that is the move. I walked on the charts in the second, and let's see. So it looks like, what I talked about in the beginning, it looks like we're validating this right here, which is the upper band, and this right here, which is the lower band. So this would potentially be resistance, this would be support. We were looking at these for major dump ideas, like specifically like this would be a validation of this head and shoulders like type idea, things like that. But you have this right here. It's very hard to see. Let me see if I can point it out to you. So right here, and then right here. This was the consolidation triangle that we essentially broke out of. And then it looks like we have this double bottom idea right here. Hard to see. I drew a lot to you have to zoom in. I don't know what this is. So we're consolidating right now is the very short answer. This was a support flipped resistance idea, but it's probably just going to confuse you guys. And it was drawn a little bit sloppy. So Let's see. I do not have a steady hand drawing. So that's just one thing on the channel, but I hope you guys get what I mean. That was a double bottom right there that played out. We were talking about. Alright, so essentially, let me give you the textbook. Alright, textbook. You want a professional trader. You basically draw this like this. Draw this like this. This is an indication of a double bottom. Now if you guys are more beginner, and this channel's for everybody, you essentially have this as the first bottom, this is the second bottom, and potentially we are in this double bottom right here, and this is the neckline. The thing is, we broke this neckline right here, which should validate this trend line right here, which should, you see, oh my gosh. Get to it in 1 second. There we go. So essentially this would be the measured move for it, and this Elon Musk pump should have validated this double bottom right here, but it did not, obviously. And so that just basically shows that, you know, the buying incentive is not there. Then you have this massive invalidation of this uptrend. And you know, there's a lot of ideas, both bearish and bullish, and neither one of them are being pressed because it's altcoin season. So like, you ask me, is the dump over? And I say, well, is altcoin season over? You know, you have to understand the overall markets, and I think that's what a lot of people on a lot of channels aren't telling you. Possibly, probably. I mean, I watch a lot of channels, and we always have the first information. We called consolidation like for, I don't even know how long. When this whole altcoin season started, we called altcoin season, and we called the consolidation on it. But essentially, we're consolidating right now, and nobody knows if the pump or if the dump is over, but it's not going anywhere right now. Like when you look at volume, it's falling off a cliff. So we need answers on these charts, is what I'm saying. We need answers on these charts, which we don't have. Are we going to come up to this area right here and potentially hit this as resistance and then come down? Are we going to consolidate up into this level, break it, and then basically bounce off of it and find support on it? So, you know, I'm talking about altcoins because there's nothing to really talk about right now. Bitcoin's consolidating, and until it at least hits this line, or at least hits this line, nobody has any answers for you, or they are lying. Because, you know, I don't want to say I'm one of the best experts in cryptocurrency, but in the last month I profitably traded $390,000 in profits. That's a fact. I'm very experienced in these markets, and I mean, you know, that's just how it is. You know, I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to tell my audience some assumptions, because that's not how I trade. That's not how any reasonable person trades. And you know, when I say that I have 100% accuracy on this channel, I have 100% accuracy because I read the charts and I don't come up with my own interpretations. And right now we are clearly, not because of my opinion, because nobody cares about anybody's opinion, because of the facts of the charts, we are clearly consolidating. So, yeah, those are my opinions on the altcoins that I specifically hold. Do hold a little bit of Aave. I'm just holding. It's a good project. Still in an uptrend. But yeah, essentially, if you're talking about, well, like, what's, you know, some if-then situations, things like this. If this level right here breaks, if this level right here comes down, if the price action comes down right here and breaks this potentially, this is, you know, you come up here, you have resistance. You come up here, you have resistance. You know, this is for a while back, this is a support flipped resistance idea, and it is massive. And so potentially what we could have, what we're looking for, and I talked about this last night, and it actually did come into fruition, is, you know, you have this right here, you have this support line that it hit right here, the price action comes down, it finds this as support. So potentially if we do come down, we could find this area again as support like we've seen in the past, and then bounce higher, consolidate, and then we're really looking to see how the price action interacts with that level. So that's what we're looking at right now. Now, if it does break this level right here, this is going to be bearish in the short term, and we will have to see. But like, if you want like my prediction, like I have no idea, but like I'm not gonna like sit here and like tell you 100% like a bunch of lies. Like we need the TA, we need, but so essentially like I could see it bouncing off here. That's what the historical data shows, and then consolidating up to this level, and then right here we haven't tested it yet, and I have no idea what the market is like, because if we slowly consolidated up to this level, most likely the RSI would be fine and cooled off to break through it potentially. But because we had this massive dump and then this crash, it kind of shows that, but at the same time, you think about, I talk about not just understanding TA, technical analysis, but also understanding the fundamental reasons behind why technical analysis, shows the patterns it shows, because then you have a better understanding of the market. And essentially right here, there could have been a lot of sell orders stacked up at these levels, and this pump could have initially taken care of a lot of those sell orders, making it possible to start moving up potentially. So, what else we got? I mean, that's pretty much it. We're consolidating. We have some very, very bullish crosses, and then the fact that we have a bullish cross right here, bullish cross right here, and it looks like we might have a bullish cross right here. That's all in the 4 hour. That is absolutely massive. And look at this small little pump. Look at this small little pump. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then like look at this massive bearish candlestick. And then like they don't even, it's not even like, we're just consolidating. Like it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if we have 1, 2, possibly 3 bullish crosses. It doesn't matter. It's consolidating. It doesn't matter if we have this massive bearish candlestick. We're consolidating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if we have these bullish indicators. It doesn't matter if we have these bearish indicators. It's obviously consolidating, and the charts don't care. There's not money in the space. All the money in the space is going into altcoins. That's what I've been saying the whole time. And don't take my word for it. Like, look at right here. That's red. That's the money momentum oscillator. It's showing that there's no money in the space. We want this to flip all the way to green, like over here. Like this is what we want it to look like, you know what I'm saying? But it's not there. So, I mean, I can only tell you what the charts are telling me. And the charts are telling me Bitcoin is boring, and we are licking between these levels right now. It's not saying that I don't know what I'm doing. It's not saying that, it's just saying, like, no, like, you can go on another channel and they can lie to you, and that's fine, and they can be wrong, and they can't have in their, title 100% accuracy, not clickbait, most underrated channel on the internet. Like, they can lie to you all they want, but if you want the facts, those are the facts. We're consolidating right now. Market Cipher is tripping out. Jeez. This is bullish right here. So essentially on Market Cipher, this is, what hour time frame is this? 4 hour. You got this right here, anchor wave. Then you got this trigger wave right here. And then you have this right here. This is essentially saying that this is a bottom. This is saying it's a top though. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have this bullish momentum right here. Literally, these are momentum waves. And you have this bullish momentum right here. You have this anchor wave, is what we call it in Market Cipher technical analysis. This is like industry standard. It doesn't get any better than this. This indicator, I think, costs like $500 for like the cheapest version. This is an anchor wave right here. This is a trigger wave. The software in and of itself already showed this, but I could have showed you this right here, basically. Saying it's a bottom, you got 2 green dots right here, perfect, gorgeous. And then right here on the 4 hour, it's saying it's a top. Right here on the 4 hour, it's saying it's a top. You have this dark blue with the RSI tripping out, saying that we're going down. With, you know, the money momentum oscillator, it's getting better. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's getting better. You know, you start out right here, and you can clearly see that we're trending, you know, towards the more money coming into the space, but it's not where we want to see it. And then this yellow basically shows where the price action is going, and right now it's going down, according to Market Cipher. All right. Technically a doji. So like, you know, like I sit here and tell you guys like for how, I don't know how long I just told you guys we're consolidating. This is a consolidation pattern right here. Literally, this doji candle is literally saying indecision. Now, a textbook doji, you want it a little bit smaller. You want the candle body to be a little bit smaller, but is literally saying exactly what I'm saying. Like on the charts, like I'm telling you guys what's happening, and then the charts is literally showing exactly what I'm telling you. We're consolidating. It's very obvious. So the market's got to make up its mind. Right now, the bulls are not in charge. Right now, the bears are not in charge. Ethereum. Let's go 80. 80. There we go. Little Cardano action. We'll take a quick look at my graph because I think this really helps people out. You know, this is one of the best cryptocurrencies in the entire space by far. Not telling you guys to go pick it up today. I told you guys to pick it up like, when did I tell you guys? Like 2 weeks ago or something. I can pull up videos, but I think I told you like two weeks ago. I bought this at 10 cents, like heavy. Like I'm not saying that I have like insane returns on this, but I told you guys like when I first started, you know, getting heavy into streaming. I told you guys like 2 weeks ago. Maybe it's been 3 at this point. Like you would have seen like a 50% return on it when I told you. I'm not telling you guys to go buy it right now. I'm saying like what we saw on the channel is I told you guys to buy back then. What we're saying right now on the channel is if it hits this line right here and it's supported, like if we still are in Bitcoin alt season, if we're in alt season, then we would potentially on this channel be looking to buy around 32 cents, potentially, because that would be the bottom of this consolidation, this parallel channel, rising channel. So that's really what we're looking at right now on the channel. I want some more 88. It's just going up so high. I want to buy more of it. I really do. I haven't sold any of it. People say, "Bro, you're up so much money on cryptocurrency." I know I haven't sold a penny. Why would I sell my Bitcoin? I bought Bitcoin at $3,000. Why would I sell? I haven't sold a penny. Why would I? People say, "You're crazy, bro. It's going to go down." I don't know. We'll see. Come back to me in 10 years and tell me it went down. It's not going down. It's not possible. It's put into the code. So we got ADA, and then the other thing we want to look at on this channel is ADAD. So we're not just gonna buy ADA like clowns when, you know, small caps are pumping and this is a mid cap. But look at this gorgeous, you know, reversal pattern right here on ADAD. People are putting their money. I'm telling you, people, the smartest people in crypto, not everybody, not, you know, your neighbor down the street, but potentially, I don't know. I don't know where you live, but the smartest people in crypto are taking their mid-cap gains. You know, they have Compound. Like I got Compound, they got, you know, all these mid-cap coins. They're making gains on them. They're taking those gains, they're locking them up into these more surefire bets for the long term. These are the smartest players, and a lot of the smartest players in crypto have the biggest bags. So a lot of these big guys are taking, their gains from their mid caps. They're about to get to their small caps, and they're taking their gains and they're putting them into Cardano. They're putting them into Ethereum. They're putting them into Bitcoin. I've been in this space for a long time. I know this space like so well, and I know everybody in this space. Like, I know that that's exactly what everybody is doing. Is they're taking, their mid cap profits, and they're like, okay, I want to put my money into Ethereum, Polkadot, Cardano, Bitcoin. That's what they're doing. And so don't think that even though we're pumping mid coins that we couldn't see a pump on Cardano following, this altcoin season. The main thing that we got to look for, and that's why we cover Bitcoin so much on this channel, is we don't want to see like a massive dump on Bitcoin. Now, is there a massive dump on Bitcoin? Right now, the TA isn't necessarily good. It isn't necessarily bad. The main thing that everybody is watching for is that monthly close on Bitcoin. And so you say, is Bitcoin's dump over? Well, tell me how Bitcoin's monthly close happens. I really want to see Bitcoin hold 34,000 on a monthly close. Like, that's what I want to see. And I personally am not open up long positions. Like, if we don't get that, like, until we start to see like a corrective wave or something. Like, it's just not worth the risk. I'll buy some Ethereum, but I'll long Ethereum possibly because, even if Bitcoin consolidates down, altcoin season can still happen, and Ethereum is technically an altcoin. But, is Bitcoin's dump over? Like I said, right when I started this channel, like literally this stream tonight, I said, we're watching, the monthly candle on Bitcoin. Some people are saying 32,000. That's fine. It all just comes down to, literally it's a print. It's not like we can go to the monthly candle right now, but I can go over it with you guys because I guess it is pretty substantial for the entire cryptocurrency market. Because if Bitcoin does get a dump and we do get a bearish candlestick, then it doesn't matter how much institutions could want to short it, which would be huge. Bearish. I mean, everybody thinks institutions are good for this space, and they might be, but if you got everybody shorting because there's a bearish candlestick, and you got to understand that like these hedge funds are in it to make money, and a lot of them are already up quite a bit. They could get a little scared. I don't know if they're part of the HODL gang. Alright. I'm part of the HODL gang. I don't care what we close on this candlestick. I'm not selling my Bitcoin for 30, 40K. It'll come back. I know it will. It don't matter. This I was crazy telling people to put their life savings in at 11,000. I guess who's crazy now? Alright, so let's see. Yeah. My main concern is if we hit a dip, like, my main concern, like, all these, these channels are talking, and that's fine, and, some of them, are pretty decent, but, my main concern is that if we get, the lower this candlestick becomes, the faster that if we close, like, let's say we close right here, or no, let's say we close right here, let's say we close at, we'll make it even, let's say we close at 32,000. All Bitcoin's price, if we get that, sort of bearish candlestick close, all Bitcoin's price has to do is come down to right here, and immediately, that is extremely, all it has to do is come down to right here, right around 28,948. It is extremely bearish at that point, because then you'd have a bearish engulfing, and you'd essentially have, this looks more so to me like a morning star. I get that there's the wick on the bottom. But so it's like a doji, like a gravestone doji. But that's my main concern, because essentially, which no one's talking about, is you get this monthly close. Let's say we close right here at 32. Okay, that's fine. If we print the next candlestick and we start pumping, that's immediately, as soon as we would have to pump relatively substantially, but we could negate that idea. We would just have to be keeping an eye on the monthly, like we can close right here. We can close any of these positions as long as Bitcoin doesn't start to fall. The second Bitcoin starts to fall, against this candlestick, and the shorter this candlestick is, the easier it is to get a bearish engulfing. You know what I'm saying? So, we can get a candlestick close like, at 32,000, and then if we just start going up, it totally negates this wick idea. The more and more we go up, we just need to go up to like 38,000, which I think we can do. And if we do something like that, it doesn't matter if we close like right here, right here, right here. It doesn't matter. That should negate this entire idea, and we have an entire month to close. So even if we do get a bearish engulfing, we're not going to print it for another month. So we could come down here, fill up a bunch of buy orders. There'd be heavy buy orders. I mean, I'd have to look at the market, but I don't know if I would be buying Bitcoin. I would probably be buying Ethereum if that was the case. At that point, like, it's just Ethereum does have a burn rate, so it's not that Ethereum is a store of value, like a store of wealth, but Ethereum is decentralized applications, and it's like the blockchain of the internet right now. And even though I do think Cardano is better, you got to think where the money's going. Everybody thinks Ethereum is a safer bet than Cardano. It's not even close once you understand the fundamentals. But that's not what everybody else thinks, and it doesn't really matter what I know to be true, what you know. There's a lot of people on this channel that are very bullish on Cardano. Congratulations. You're going to make a lot of money as long as you hold. You get some good prices. But it doesn't matter about what the smart people think. The smart people are always the vast majority, or the vast minority. And that's the thing about markets is it's not necessarily about being the smartest person in the market. It's necessarily being, just as smart as everybody else as far as the herd. Because if you buy a stock right before the herd and then they come plowing into it, then that's how you're going to make your money. If you're too smart, if you're too advanced, like Cardano is pretty advanced. Like a lot of people, they don't learn about it right away in this crypto space. I know a lot of these bigger YouTubers are kind of talking about it, and that's kind of getting people a lot more educated. But I don't think people really understand how massively substantial Cardano is. Um, it literally just like this fact alone, the fact that Cardano is backwards compatible with Ethereum. Any Ethereum developer can literally just instantly switch over to Cardano. That would essentially just drain the entire Ethereum. Like, why would you go to Ethereum when their gas fees are so high? Like, they'd have to fix those. And you have all these benefits, like Cardano is more decentralized. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but so my point is this: if it does dip, there could be a lot of buying pressure, and we could literally just wick back up before the end of the month close, and still not print a bearish engulfing, which is my massive concern with this. And then we could essentially start, inching our way up against this wick and negating this idea. I really like how people in this space are really drawing like precedents to it, and the concern for it, and there is concern for it, but it's really it is a powerful candlestick formation. But I think I gave you guys the best. Like on this channel right now, we're talking about maybe going up to this line right here. If we print like around these areas right here, which looks like what is going on, it's fine. So that's the monthly. We just gotta wait and see. But I wanted to give my own perspective on it. I wanted to, because anybody, it seems like everybody in the market is not really, comfortable with talking about their own stuff. But on this channel, we're not like just going to say exactly what everybody else is saying to look good. I'm actually going to tell you, my interpretation as a technical analyst. Okay, what do we got here? This is a doji. What did I say? Like, I don't even want to say like that I'm right. I don't even like want it, but like I'm always right. It's consolidation. It's the doji. I told you guys like what was that like 30 minutes ago we were consolidating. We're still consolidating. It's a doji candle right there. I don't even want to, I don't even want to sound like anything, but like at a certain point you just got to know, you know what you're talking about, and we're always right on this channel. That's the one thing. I'm just gonna delete this and then add it back. Because, I mean, this is like OP, so OP using Market Cipher on Cardano, especially on a dip or something. That's just cheating. Ask me questions if you have any questions about altcoins or something. I went over all my opinions on all the different altcoins. Like I said on this channel, I have some bags that I've been holding, but I haven't really been accumulating these mid caps. My mid caps have been pumping, but I just haven't seen anything that's like an absolute steal. We talked about uh, Compound like probably a week ago, and I was saying how undervalued it was, and like I almost felt like I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't like it wasn't like it was losing value, but I was like starting to like be like, was I wrong? And then it just pumped 53% this week, and I was like, damn. I literally called that on the channel. I literally told people like that's massive. Let's see. And then I don't know if I got any of it. I was talking about on my other social media platforms. I don't know if I got it on this one, but I was telling people how I thought that VeChain. I love VeChain, and I've talked a lot about not only the let's see. I've talked to people not only about just the use case of VeChain, but also its business model, and how I think it's extremely practical. But I thought that it was a little overvalued, and that it wasn't really fit to run with something like Polkadot and Cardano, and then we called that. I don't know if we called that on this channel. We definitely called it on other social media platforms for sure. It's a great cryptocurrency, but it just wasn't performing, and I knew just because Polkadot and Cardano are just such good projects. It's just so sad that their valuation is. I mean, at this point, you really got to believe in the project and really be going for long term. And then the thing to think about is also, not only on this channel do we talk about the price, but I also give you like the use case. I give you guys like I break down everything. And like when I say I break down everything, like I actually own Polkadot, and I'm going to tell you about my Polkadot experience. Like, I had a hard time staking it. A lot of people on the channel know that, not to my own negligence, but I was on the you guys know the story. I was on the Polkadot wallet that they give, and none of the validator nodes were validating and I was tipping them. So, like you guys know that I unstaked my Polkadot for Cardano. It's not necessarily that I disagree with Polkadot. I love Polkadot. I bought Polkadot way back. We absolutely killed. I think I got like a 400 or something, 500% ROI on that Polkadot. So like I was a very early supporter, and I would have got something even crazier, but I didn't know Crypto.com had it. So if you're looking for Polkadot, Crypto.com has Polkadot, but I would have had a higher ROI, but I didn't know where to get it. I was mostly on Coinbase. I was mostly on Binance. Did Binance have Polkadot? Yeah, it did have Polkadot. I don't know. But so I'm unstaking it, and it takes forever to unstake your Polkadot from the network. I think I still have like 2 or 3 days left, and I think it takes 20 days to unstake Polkadot, which is just absurd. And so many people stake Polkadot. I believe it's the second most staked network. Somebody can fact check me on that because I'm not entirely sure. But I believe Cardano is the most staked network on any platform, and I believe Polkadot second most staked. And so a lot of that equity is tied down, and it takes a massive amount of time to unstake it. It takes almost a month to unstake it. So when you see these gains coming in, you got to understand that, you're seeing, a 200, 300% ROI like what I'm seeing, and I'm like, okay, I want to take that profit, because I can't get that, the thing that we talked about a lot on this channel, which was absolutely massive, was the idea of staking. What was it? It was taking advantage of like cash flowing assets. So basically, Cardano is definitely a cash flowing asset. You have your initial capital, you have your initial gain. And I was saying, way back that Ethereum was like real estate 2.0. And you say, well, how is Ethereum like real estate 2.0? So you got your Ethereum, which is essentially like but like your real estate property, and it's an asset, and it goes up in value. Okay, and then you rent out your real estate property. That's like your cash flow, and there's expenses to renting out a real estate property. You have to pay for your AC. You have to pay for all these different electrical. I mean, it depends. If it's a triple net lease, depending on the property, the real estate property, and the negotiations you have set up. But there are expenses to real estate properties, whether it's closing cost, all sorts of. So, but you have expenses on, staking Ethereum, but they're significantly less. It's things like electricity and, managing and like the internet and keeping, your Ethereum, wired to the internet. So you have your initial, asset, which in real estate is the house. In cryptocurrency, it's the Ethereum. You have your expenses column, which would essentially be under liabilities. And then you have your cash flowing aspect of, positive cash flow coming in through the asset, in real estate, renting it out to somebody, they're going to pay you for that. In crypto and staking, you have the people are going to be paying you to stake on the network, putting your own money down as collateral to secure the network. And so this is a doji right here, so we're pretty much consolidating right here. So it's like real estate 2.0. You got the cash flow, you got the initial asset, but people talk about, and we talked about this a lot on the channel, the idea that, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of uncertainty with the stimulus packages and what could be going on with, you have to rely on the government. A lot of people have to rely on the government to essentially, because there's less jobs, rely on the government to keep funding them so that they don't default on their mortgage. If they default on their mortgage, that's going to. And some people say the government's not going to let the economy crash. The government this, the government. Well, that's speculation technically, but that could be the case. We don't like to speculate on this channel. We like to come up with all the ideas, put everything out there. And they had that $600 stimulus check. That wasn't very much. So, it's all speculation at the end of the day. But you have this artificial housing crisis where basically people default on their mortgages because they don't have any more income. And then there's an artificial supply dump temporarily on the housing market. And there's so much money coming into cryptocurrency, which would be backing up assets like Ethereum. So I say Ethereum's like real estate 2.0. You get all the benefits of real estate, you get the cash flow, you get the appraisal. And I was saying this, I have videos of me talking about real estate 2.0 is in Ethereum. I have videos of me talking about this when Ethereum was like $300. And I was saying, guys, I was like, writing financial theses saying, guys, I think this is real estate 2.0. This is like one of the best secure cash flowing assets possible to buy. And I said, why? Because these institutions are completely backing. There's so much money flowing into this space. It's not necessarily, and I said it like this. I said, like, Bitcoin, is like the poster child for cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't really know about cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin is basically like the marketing mechanism to get people involved in crypto and to get that, cash coming in to the space, which would be propping up like the markets like Ethereum, which would secure your asset, which would constantly get that cash flow. And I was talking about, and we've talked about it multiple times, the possibility of a potential crash in real estate. It's speculative, it depends. I know about asset inflation. I was talking about asset inflation on some of my other social media channels like a year ago, and I could never have imagined, like, I was one of the first people to talk about asset inflation and the effects of, it was going to cost more to buy a specific asset. And so it wasn't necessarily that stocks were going up in price because, Apple was a better company than it was before. It's the same company, but, well, they did, it's the same company essentially. So, it's the fact that it costs more now to buy the same asset. But that's what I'm saying. So my whole point is I've talked a lot about that. I've talked about that on the channel. I've talked about that. But so the application for that is on staking. Like you have Ethereum, you have Cardano, and you have Polkadot. Those all are cash flowing assets, which I've said, which I've hypothesized about. Like I've talked about institutional money coming in, just a lot of the cycles, like a lot of money just flows into the altcoins, like typically from Bitcoin. There's a lot of, if you read what is it? Fidelity's 19-page paper on why they think Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million, like through Bitcoin's very cyclical. And then just because Bitcoin, everybody in the financial space, a few months ago was talking about how Bitcoin's going to go to like 100,000, 200,000. My conservative target back when Bitcoin was 100,000, what was it? Bitcoin was like 10,000. I was telling everybody Bitcoin's definitely going to 100,000, and now we're already halfway there, nearly. But everybody thought that was crazy. But now that's seeming like absurdly conservative. But you just have to factor in the other side. It would almost be delusional not to. You have all these older generation guys that are looking for money to put into the, whatever they're dealing with, and they're just so against Bitcoin. And you have to think from, a psychological level. You're talking about neuroplasticity. These older guys, they don't have the neuroplasticity. I mean, the amount of that I learned, like, about the economy, like there's so much going on, like, if we just went from a fractional reserve system to a no reserve system. Some people still think we're on a fractional reserve system. You went to college, you probably still think we're on a fractional. You got to learn every single day. And a lot of these old guys, they don't have the neuroplasticity. It's literally not in, their physiology and their neurochemistry. Neuroplasticity is the ability to adapt to new situations as you get older. And a lot of these guys, it's literally, written into their genetic code. They can't, adapt to new situations. You got it, it's like your brain. You use it or you lose it. And when you get older, that's no joke. And I'm not talking about my opinions. I never talk about my opinions. I don't think anybody cares about my opinions, and that's fine. I'm talking about science. I had a 4.0 going to college in science, for, what was it, psychology. You can look up neuroplasticity. It's the mind's ability to react to new situations. Um, and so you got to think, and why is this applicable? This is applicable to cryptocurrency because a lot of these older guys, no matter what, they don't care. It is so obvious that cryptocurrency is the future, but their neuroplasticity, their ability to not adapt to new situations, a scientific fact, that this is, more susceptible to these older guys because of the way their brain is. they're not going to be putting their money in. So, you have this bullish moon boy, view of basically we're going to 200,000, we're going to 400,000. And then you got all these guys, you got all these older guys, and they're like, nah, I would never put a penny into cryptocurrency because they can't adapt. So that's how I came up with the conservative target of 100,000. And do I think it's going to go up to more than 100,000? I do, but that was my conservative target. I said it's going to hit 100,000. If it hits more than 100,000, was I still right that it hit 100,000? Yeah, I was. So, um, that still stands my conservative target of Bitcoin. But because Bitcoin's gonna hit 100,000, then you have basically you have like look at that doji. I mean, that's just absurd. Look at that doji. Uh, so essentially, you have like, it's not just the fact that, so like Bitcoin's, like I've been saying, the poster child for crypto. And then always these markets are cyclical. People don't understand. They're like, how are you going to put so much money into crypto? And like, it's so risky. Well, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't understand the cycles, this altcoin thing, this altcoin season, it's been a thing for a long time in these cycles. So money is going to be constantly flowing. When Bitcoin consolidates at 70,000, when Bitcoin consolidates at 50,000, at all these levels, there's going to be a more altcoin season, and altcoins are going to continue to pump. And so that gives validity to the argument that, Ethereum is a pretty safe bet to and like in Ethereum, as in like Cardano, Ethereum and Ethereum and Polkadot. You get into these assets, and there's always going to be cash flow. There's always going to be new money pumping into them because these markets are cyclical, and Bitcoin's going to pump. And when Bitcoin pumps and then consolidates, then all this money is going to be flowing into these altcoins, like, and you want the major ones. And if, like I was saying before, and I'm going to bring up again, is that you want to be into these sooner than later because you're going to be racking up dividends, you're going to be racking up your staking rewards, and you're basically going to be taking advantage. There's coins being minted every single day, whether you're in Cardano, whether you're in Polkadot, or whether you're in Ethereum. There's new coins being minted every single day. You want those coins. You want to be getting and stacking up those coins. Because if you don't, it works like, like inflation. There's an inflation aspect on the currency, and the way that you take advantage of the inflation on these currencies is by getting in early. So then you reap the rewards of that, built inflation, system. Yes, the Cardano prints more tokens. Yes, Ethereum prints more tokens. Yes, DOT prints more tokens, but you're getting you're getting a percentage of those new printed tokens, taking advantage of that, and those gains compound. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I talked about Ethereum being real estate 2.0 back when it was like 300. I really, thought that was because I was back in real estate. When I was in high school, I really studied real estate hard, and, you know, I was good with real estate. I put down like experts, but, and that was just all passion. But, um, I just had to drop real estate. Like, you know what I mean? You got to have that neuroplasticity. You got to move with the times. And, the times are showing that it's crypto time. And that anybody that's not putting in is, they're stuck. They're not adjusting. They're not moving forward. I get you think that stocks are cool or this or that, and you as in, the general public, stocks are the safe bet, real estate's the safe bet. Everybody thought I was crazy going into crypto, and they thought it was just like some lucky guess when it ends up pumping to 40,000. I had all the facts lined up. I was telling everybody, put your life savings in. It was obvious. But that just speaks to the whole, and to my audience, it's that, with altcoin season, you always got to be, learning with altcoin season, because there's going to be new coins coming out. There's going to be all this stuff coming out, and you just got to, and there's always news on these coins. There's always updates like on Zcash. I remember maybe 3 months ago there was a halving or something like that in Zcash, and like, but you got to make sure you're up to date on all the news with all the projects, how they're interrupting. Um, what was it? Kusama was having some big partnerships. All these coins get like big partnerships all the time. And like you just got to be up to date on all of that stuff if you're going to be investing in altcoins, get up to date. And for me, and this is like I've been waiting for altcoin season for a long time. Um and if you guys know, I don't keep like a massive amount of money in altcoins, and one of the biggest things that I do in altcoins is I never trade altcoins. I'll trade Ethereum and I'll trade Bitcoin, but I'll never trade like what is it? I'll never trade Compound. I'll never trade anything less than Bitcoin or Ethereum, and here's why. Because unless you're putting like $10,000, $5,000 into, some of these altcoins, which I mean, unless you're talking about Cardano, I wouldn't recommend. And I'd rather just stake my Cardano than trade it, but that's just me. Um, it doesn't make sense, and a lot of times a lot of these kids get caught up in the gains. They get caught up in, oh, I'm gonna put my compound on the network, and then try and trade it. And what I say to that is, if you only put up $100, if you only put up $100 and you're trading $100 in compound, and you're doing a 10x, you're trading $1,000, it goes up 1%. You make 10% on $100. What's that? That's $10. Okay, you better have made that gain in an hour, or you're getting like McDonald's money. You're literally getting $10 an hour, and you're making that trade, and you're gonna make 1%. You're gonna make on 10x leverage. You know what I'm saying? You really got to be a, like, when I see people start a business, I've been involved in some businesses and things. You really got to factor in the ROI and the return on investment. If it takes you 5 months to start up some business, and you don't have any cash flow, you don't have anything, and it's not really going anywhere unless you see this as a long-term investment. And in trading, it's not a long-term investment, unless you're swing trading, and it shouldn't be taking you 5 months on a trade. Then it's not worth your time. It's not worth you'd be better off just working at McDonald's. You'd make a lot more money working at McDonald's than you would spending 10 hours researching a compound trade that you're trading $100 on 10x leverage. I mean, yeah, you could try and make it worth your time with 100x leverage, but you're gonna get wrecked. Like guaranteed. Like these markets, like I mean, try and do 100x right here on Bitcoin. Either way, whether you shorted it or whether you this is about 1% right here. So either way, you would have got wrecked. It just goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit, and that's how a lot of these markets are. So you would have got wrecked either way if you would have took 100x long out, just because it's consolidating. It would have wiped you out either way. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the market is. We went up right here. It's like, oh, if you would have shorted, you would have got wrecked, or if you wouldn't have taken profits, you would have got wrecked right here. It's not like the market's just always pump. It's not like the market's always. So that's the reason that on this channel we don't trade altcoins. It's not smart. In my opinion, it's not worth the ROI. Maybe if you're a big buck investor and you're some multimillionaire, and you're putting $10,000 into compound, and you want to make a little extra money on that, and it's worth the ROI. But in general, it's not going to be. In a lot of these altcoins, I'll put 100, 200, 300, $400 into some of these altcoins, just so I have diversification into the sector. So like, for example, if I want to be diversified, so like we talked about this idea of sectors yesterday, and the real understanding of how Warren Buffett diversifies with different market sectors, and we applied it to cryptocurrency. Like Bitcoin is obviously, and then guess who talked about it today? The guy that has 300,000 subs, BitBoy. A lot of the stuff that BitBoy talks about, we literally talk about here first. It's nuts. I don't want to say I'm the most underrated channel, but I think we're living up to that quite a bit. Um, Here's the thing, big boys, and I said this yesterday, but I'll say it again. It's like you want diversification, you know. We still haven't seen a reversal pattern out of this. This is looking decent. You're having lower lows set right here, but we're still not seeing, you know, what we want to see. I can pull up a fib. But what Big Boy said is, and what I said is that you want diversification into your altcoin portfolio. So, you know, like for example, Ethereum or Bitcoin without a doubt is by far, in a way, definitely Alright. Is by far and away definitely the store of value. So what you wouldn't want to do is you wouldn't want to get something like Zcash. You wouldn't want to get like unless you're trying to get a privacy coin, but you wouldn't want to try and get Bitcoin Cash. You wouldn't want to try and get SVT Bitcoin. You wouldn't want to try and get all these other store of values. If you're looking to diversify your portfolio, you and like I talked about, I forget what that marketing book is. I got to figure out that marketing book because it's like the best one of the best books I've ever written. But you know, like I said before in this marketing book, it's like what's the biggest mountain on the planet? Mount Everest. What's the second? I think it's like Kilimanjaro or something, but most people don't know. Who was the first person to land on the moon? Neil Armstrong. Who was the second? The point of it is that the biggest people in the sector that you're of business that you're looking at, they get the most market share. And you should always be, you know, when people hear Warren Buffett's diversification into altcoins, they think to themselves, I just got to go buy all these different altcoins. That's not what that means. That means, you know, buy some maybe Bitcoin if you want, you know, the best. Like in my portfolio, my only, you know, bet for a hedge against inflation altcoin is Bitcoin. Um, I don't need another hedge against inflation on a crypto asset because it's obviously Bitcoin is going to take all the market share essentially. And then if you want to diversify, then you go into other market sectors. So let's say you want to diversify into decentralized finance, DeFi, then maybe you get something like one of the best ones right now is Aave. I'm not telling you guys to get that one, but that's one of the best, you know, it's pumped a lot. But you would diversify as in getting something like Aave. You know, if you want to get into NFTs, that doesn't necessarily mean go buy 50 NFTs so that you have like low risk. No, do your research, get the best one, and that's you're diversifying into different sectors. It doesn't make sense when you really think about it to just buy a bunch of altcoins and you talk about, well, what about the S&P 500? Most people don't even know what the S&P 500 is. The S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in the index. Those are all leading industry companies. A lot of those are the best that America has to offer. So they tend to perform pretty well. That's just kind of the exception. These are the top performing companies. And that is, you know, what you would call diversification, not necessarily by sector. But you know, so what he was talking about, Warren Buffett was originally talking about, is diversifying between different market sectors. So when he was diversifying his portfolio, when he says he was the person that, you know, really started the idea of don't put all your eggs in one basket. He's not saying go buy every single cryptocurrency. Definitely pick the right ones, but if you're talking about different sectors, DeFi, and then you have, you know, different applications that you can build on blockchain. So you have Ethereum, Cardano. Those would be developer apps, and so you would diversify into those as opposed to DeFi. So you would have your anti-inflationary currency, which might be Bitcoin, which is definitely for me. And then DeFi, you know, I picked Aave a while back and it's up incredibly. Like we killed that call. I haven't posted that call on here, but on my other social media platforms, I called Aave at like I think I announced it in current to date since I announced it on my Snapchat following. I think we had a 300% ROI on that one. And so that was obviously a top pick in DeFi, but we're not diversifying, you know, in every single coin. The main problem that people get is they pick too many coins. They get way too many coins. They want to diversify way too much. Your safest bet, you know, are Ethereum and Bitcoin with ROI to reward risk to reward ratio. in general. There might be some low cap gems, but I mean, I have most of the low cap gems, and I don't even think the risk to reward ratio on them is going to outperform Ethereum. Ethereum's essentially at this point, and it's the sentiment of everybody in the space, a nearly 100% unleveraged guarantee of a 100% ROI unleveraged. If you swing trade that, obviously you get like a 200 or a 300, but that's like guaranteed. A lot of these low cappers, nothing's guaranteed. They're like startup companies. Yeah, you could get 100x, but if you get 100x on there, there's also the chance that you lose all your money. And so, it's like, and it goes back to, why I talk about why I don't trade altcoins. It goes back to that same ideology. If you're only putting in $100, $1,000 into some of these altcoins, specifically like $100 into some of these altcoins, it doesn't make sense to research them for, a week to a month, finding the absolute perfect one that you're searching for, and then only getting a 60% ROI, because then you're making $60, but it took you a week to a month to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it just, people get too caught up, with altcoins and over diversifying and not correctly diversifying, because at the end of the day, it obviously makes sense to put your money into the stock, into the real estate property, into whatever the asset is that's going to perform the highest. When we're talking about diversification, we're talking about, Warren Buffett is the one that started that, and he was talking about diversifying into different market sectors so you have different exposure based off of what's going on in the economy. And we've seen that a lot throughout history, that has shown to be a decent strategy. And so, in applying this to crypto, you obviously have different crypto trends. DeFi was a huge trend last summer, and then essentially, you have the NFTs, and there's a lot of speculation that NFT trend is going to be relatively high. But regardless of how you spin it, find whatever the new trend is that you think is going to be the new trend. I'm not speculating. I would just rather not. But, these trends seem to do, like, the fact that you have altcoin season and then you have like the DeFi trend, that puts you into like a mega cycle on some of these, like Compound, Aave, like saw insane gains. So if you can stack up different trends on top of different trends, like if you were to find a coin, and this is just an idea, this is not financial advice, but if you were to find like an NFT that was also a decentralized finance application, you were to stack trends. If you were to stack trends on top of the altcoin season, that could be something that could be substantial. But you would want to find the next trend. So a lot of people are speculating that decentralized finance is very hot. So decentralized finance with stacking whatever the next trend is a good idea to diversify into other sectors to potentially get the highest ROI, essentially. But like for me personally, if you want to know like how I diversify, I don't really diversify that much. I only hold a few coins, and I've talked like for the last 30 minutes about why that's the case. But essentially, I diversify. My number one anti-inflationary is Bitcoin. Then I diversify in another sector. I had some Aave. That's the DeFi sector. And then Cardano, long term, I have a lot of money in Ethereum right now. I'm really betting strong on Ethereum. A lot of people are like, oh, Ethereum. Listen, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I have like 40 to 60% of my entire portfolio in Ethereum. And I always put my money where my mouth is, and I will always put my money where my mouth is on this channel. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I literally got like a lot of money on it. So, we'll see what happens. But Cardano long term, and that's really what I want to take advantage of. And then I don't like NFTs like personally, like, so I'm not going to promote them on this channel. I'm not going to talk about them on this channel because it's not something that I personally invest in. It's not something that I'm passionate about, and I don't want to see you guys get wrecked. So I just don't believe in them. Like, I do understand the, anti-inflationary aspect of it. I understand the one-of-a-kind nature of it. I understand, it's the same thing with like Bitcoin private keys. Like, I understand it. I just don't see, the real. I could only understand it in the sense like that Bitcoin is, and I see Bitcoin as really an extremely under valued asset, and I think that's why it goes up so much in value. It's not necessarily because, eventually it's going to. I mean, we could go into market cycles and continue into market cycles, or we could eventually find intrinsic value and then essentially rise with inflation. But either way, I just don't see the long-term monetary value to NFTs besides possibly holding its value in inflation in an inflationary situation. Like I get that there's only one of them and as the currency. So I get that argument. It's kind of the same argument as Bitcoin, but there's a lot of demand for Bitcoin. There's a lot of, uh, the current financial situation, everything that just went on with the stock market, all these different things drive up, but with NFTs, it just doesn't, like, I understand it, but it's just not like it's just not something that I'm interested in whatsoever. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm also, promoting it on the channel. I'm just, and it was big in 2017 with CryptoKitties, and so we'll see if that trend continues. But on this channel, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of channels that are gonna promote NFTs. Like, who's huge on NFTs? Elliot Trades is huge on NFTs, and that's fine. He can put his money where his mouth is. He can put his calls where his is, and maybe they do well. But it's just not something that I believe in, so I'm not gonna put my money into it. But essentially, yeah, stacking trends in DeFi, or stacking trends in the altcoin season and diversifying relatively, like getting really good coins, and not wasting your time like spending, like scrolling through CoinGecko for like 2 months. Like, because if you scroll through, and it literally happens all the time. People will scroll through CoinGecko for like 2 months looking for the best coin, and they're depositing $100. You would literally, like, I mean, how much money would you make working at McDonald's if you were to do 2 months? You'd probably make, like, you'd have to have that coin, like, just absolutely obliterate, and there's no guaranteed, like, essentially 20x. Like, maybe in the long term, potentially, but, like, Bitcoin would just outperform it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause how much money would you make if you worked at McDonald's for 2 months? Cause literally, it sounds stupid, but there are so many people that get caught up in what's the next coin. They just get addicted to it, and nobody in the crypto community talks about this. It's just because that's where they get most of their views from. They get most of their views from people clicking on what's the next hottest coin. I gotta chase the next hottest coin. And then nobody talks about, practicality. Well, unless you're investing like $1,000 to $5,000 at least, you're gonna get your ROI cut into massively when you're trying to go into like Uniswap to get these coins, because these low cap gems that they're talking about, if you're investing $100 like we talked about earlier, it's going to cut into your ROI massively using something like Uniswap, which would be the only way to get a lot of these low cap coins. So on this channel, we don't just talk about, anybody can tell you about the stats on a coin. I'm telling you, all about it, not just necessarily, the stats on it, but like if you were to actually go and buy one of these coins right now, and you had, between, 100 and 200, $300. I mean, I don't know how much you want to speculate on a low cap coin. For me personally, it's not more than $100 for sure, and I have a relatively big portfolio. So, I mean, but if you want to, go $100, I mean, on this channel, we wouldn't recommend anything more. And then you're going to be paying. I've seen Ethereum gas fees be as high as $30 to $40. And so, I mean, those, you're just cutting into massively. And then you think to yourself, okay, well, it's a $30 or $40 one-time payment. Well, no, it's $30 or $40 to get your Ethereum or whatever you're putting the coin to convert into. And then on top of that, you have to reconvert it. Uh, and into another coin, or you have to find an exchange that's going to accept that coin. And a lot of these low cap coins, I mean, like Ferrum Network. I mean, that coin's been performing massively well for me. I think I'm up like 300% ROI on that so far on my low cap. But what Coinbase, Crypto.com, I don't know anybody that has Ferrum Network. I heard that they got listed somewhere, like KuCoin or something, and they were really excited about that. But if you work 2 months at McDonald's, you would make $3,200. So if you're investing $100 into one of these altcoins, you would have to have it go up 32x. If you only have $100 and you're looking for the perfect coin and it's taking you 2 months to find the perfect coin, you might as well just work at McDonald's and get that guaranteed 32x as opposed to, basically risking it all. Or you'd have to get a 32x or better. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really don't get that. People spend so much time researching, so much time, and they're not really investing a significant amount of money to where it's worth their time. You know what I'm saying? This thing has just been consolidating. I mean, you can say on this channel we don't call things, but just watch the videos. Just rewind the video. It's all there. It's all in the proof. Bitcoin is consolidating. Alrighty. Let's see what we got. We got some questions. I didn't realize we had so many questions. Drive in right now, but listening. Good evening, Notches. Anything specific in crypto space this week? Do you think Bitcoin will pull back? Correction, February. Yeah, so the main thing that we're looking for is the monthly candle. We talked about it before. I'm going to agree with a lot of the guys that say 32,000 we want to hold. I talked a lot about earlier the potential scenarios of a pullback and essentially printing, that doji, gravestone, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like the worst case ever, because it's just printing. It's not like it is a reversal. It is a strong reversal indicator, but it also a major factor is what happens, how the price reacts to that. And if it does react negatively and we do get a bearish engulfing on top of that, that would obviously be massively signaling a correction. But our main thing that we're looking for is the monthly candle close. If we can get that monthly candle close, that would be we're looking for the monthly candle close. We want to get if I think we can get 34,000. I think we could get 35,000. I think that's in the cards. On the 4 hour, it just said that we have a 4 hour candlestick, like a downtrend. So we'll see how the cards play out. But mainly we're looking if we can get a 34, if we can get a 35, it's in the cards. If we can get a $34,000 or $35,000 candle close, that would be massive. I'm not trading Bitcoin. I'm gonna hold my Bitcoin. I'm not selling at 40,000. I told you people. I was buying heavy. I was buying tens of thousands of dollars at 11,000, and people say, "Oh, you made so much money. Take out, take out." I'm not selling at 40,000. You crazy? So what I'm doing, the interpretation of the graph, if we do get a dump, I mean, I'm just not going to be trading. If that candlestick closes bearish, I'm just not going to be trading it. I'm still going to hold it. So that's kind of not only, what's going to happen, potentially we need to see, it, but that's what we're looking at is the monthly. And that's the game plan on this channel for if that happens. And then potentially if we get a really big dump, I'm going to be buying Ethereum at the bottom when we call the bottom. And I talked about that earlier too. Good evening. Anything significant in the crypto space? Elon Musk, he didn't buy some. He put it in his Twitter bio. Dogecoin seems to be dropping, which I don't know if I warned you guys. I warned people on my other social media accounts, but I don't know if I warned you guys about Dogecoin. But yeah, that was obvious. Dogecoin pumps never end up good. It always is for just the people that got in the beginning. Do you think Bitcoin will pull back? We went over that. Is it a good time to buy BTC now? Okay, so it just depends on your risk. Is it a good time to buy BTCD now? It depends on your risk. I would say it's too risky for me personally. It's way too risky for me personally. You want to see that candlestick close. If it closes bullish, if it closes 34, 35, and then it's essentially right after that candlestick closes, you want to see how the market's going to react to it. But essentially, if we close higher, I would be buying right there. I would be buying right at that candlestick close that's bullish. And if we close lower, I would not be buying. I would be buying around, 29, 30, 27. We'll try and call the bottom like we always do, and we are pretty freaking good at it. I don't, I like we out invested BitBoy. I don't even want to say that. I love BitBoy, but we literally out invested him. He has 300,000 subs. He literally, like, so many different channels were telling us that we were just gonna wick right back up after we hit 28K. I was calling for consolidation. I was saying we didn't have enough information. On this channel, we were right. We beat everybody out. So that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, on this, like, for me personally, like, it's just not worth the risk. Like, don't FOMO. Don't FOMO. Because as soon as you FOMO, and I tell people this in real estate, I tell people this in stocks, I tell people this in anything. Like, it's always looks greener on the other side. And then the second you hold it, like the second you long it, the second you short it, you start to get the other side of it. So first you get FOMO, and then, the second you're like, crap, what did I just do? I bought in a little high. The second it drops, and you start to get some FUD. Don't be that guy. I'm telling you, like, be conservative, be patient. I made this video where I talked about USO on my channel, on my YouTube channel, and it went up like 140% or something like that. And I was telling everybody in that video, I said, with stocks, guys, be patient. That's going to be huge. And so, yeah, be patient with Bitcoin. Wait for the close. If it's a good close, buy. If it's a bad close, sell. Not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am staying on the sidelines for now. I'll see what Bitcoin is going to do. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I have been doing very well on Link. Link's a little overextended, but it could pump. Uni's pretty good. I talked about that earlier. I talked about the pros and cons. Like I said, it's just huge in this bull run. Like, the fact that, everybody's in these altcoin seasons, and a lot of these altcoins, like, people don't get it because, like, a lot of people that are newer to the space, like, they just don't understand crypto. And, like, to get a lot of these low cap coins, and the big thing is, like, you can get some of these mid caps on Coinbase, you can get some of these mid caps on crypto.com, Binance US, like, you can get these coins, or Binance. But when it comes to these low caps, because when you look at the market cycles, we go large cap, we go Bitcoin, usually like, what is it, EOS and like Litecoin large caps, and then we go mid caps, and then if this what is it? As this altcoin season continues, we're gonna go down to the small caps, and then, we've been doing really good on Uni, but Uni would do really well with the small caps. Now, I don't know if it's overextended. We've had some massive pumps. That was definitely a good time to get in. Can I ask a question? Absolutely, ask a question. Bitcoin Buzz Aldrin. Yeah, exactly. You're talking about, yeah. I think that the best hedge fund for Bitcoin is the best hedge for Bitcoin is BSV. So here's the thing. I get it. I really do. And, I like to talk about, like, the personal, like, when I started in crypto and stuff, and I was, like, big in Bitcoin Cash, but, like I told you guys before, and I don't know if you were here for that, is these, spin-offs of whether it's Ethereum, like Ethereum Classic, whatever it is, they never tend to do well, and it's always that argument, and it's always the community perpetuating this. It's that no matter, what it is, we're going to keep getting spin-offs if that's the case, and we're never going to have all our money into one coin. So this is looking a little bit bearish. We did break out of this, but we are consolidating. But this is looking bearish. We just want to look on the volume. It's looking like we're headed down in the immediate short term. We'll see what happens. Again, we're looking at this line right here. And then, yeah, so we're looking at this line right here. And then obviously we have all these moving averages, and I'll turn on the rest of the moving averages. There we go. So we could potentially find support at these levels. Alright, does Tether equal? They try to, that's what they try and do, is one Tether tries to equal one USD. That's the whole thing. There's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of stuff going on where essentially Tether is saying that they're printing like way too much, and there's a whole thing going on with Tether right now with a lawsuit, and a lot of people were saying that Tether was going to drop the price of Bitcoin, which we didn't talk about on this channel, like we didn't perpetuate because it was just FUD. But Tether is in a lawsuit, and they will have to answer and provide documents and stuff. Tether is usually always the same as, yeah, so Tether isn't a crypto. Tether is an ETH token. It gets, yeah, so is it a good time to buy right now? Definitely look anti-inflation. Is it a good time to buy right now? Answer is definitely wait for the candlestick close. It's too risky in the opinion of the channel. Like yeah, I mean, like I said, don't FOMO in. Be patient. The market rewards those who are patient. Anti-inflationary is embedded. Anti-inflation is investing in something that produces more value than the inflation rate. So, like anti-inflationary, like there's a bunch of different ways to talk about it, but essentially, like for example, like gold, it holds its value because there's only like a finite supply of gold, like on the planet, and then like this is the concept. Obviously, gold markets are heavily manipulated, which we talk about, and there's a lot of factors, like supply and demand. But essentially, like you have a finite asset of something, and then as the currency supply increases, it costs more money to buy that same asset. But this is a good idea. But essentially, if it's more valuable, then it would probably raise in value. Get out of ETH. Huge pump and dump. 1 month Binance chart. Get out of ETH. Dang, I don't know. I don't know. Get out of ETH. Let's see. Let's see what you're talking about. I mean, I'm an ETH guy, and like I really usually don't switch, and I have a really good track record, but I don't even want to say that, but like I literally called everything so far. But let's see. You need a Patreon, bro. Um, no, what I want to do is get a Telegram group. I'm never gonna charge anybody on this group. Never gonna do like paid anything or anything like that. I'm never gonna sell a course. I'm never gonna do anything like that. It's all just gonna be free content. So I hate people that sell courses. I hate people that are just, in it for the money and, they're just fake and like they need the money and so they just like give everybody financial advice because they can't do the finances themselves. We obviously have an extremely good track record on this. So you're talking about the monthly chart on ETH. Let's check it out. The only thing that I can think about with ETH, I haven't really looked at the monthly, but the only thing like is usually Bitcoin leads it, and if Bitcoin dumps, then ETH could dump, which is where I'm looking for a opportunity to buy some ETH as the price drop. It seems to be extremely undervalued. Let's see what we're looking at. ETH monthly looks pretty decent from what I see. Yeah, it looks very bullish. I don't know if I just misunderstood your question or misunderstood what you're saying, your statement, but this is a massive bullish candlestick. I'm not sure. Binance is like they're like trying to dump it on Binance, like 1 month Binance chart. So I am on the Kraken chart, so I can go to the Binance chart, but I don't know. Are they trying to dump it? Like they're trying to pump XRP? I'm not. Let's see. I'm not sure. Binance monthly. But yeah, on this channel, like I said, I put my money where my mouth is. I have a massive amount of money in ETH. Let's see. It doesn't look bad to me on this chart either. I'm not sure. It looks good to me on this chart. I don't know. But this wick is not substantial at all. I mean, this is a doji right here. I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure. This is the monthly right here on Binance. Are you saying maybe on like the minute chart they're dumping it instead of the monthly? You're talking about the minute, they're dumping it? Looks like we're just consolidating. There's some buying pressure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know XRP so I talked about XRP earlier and when the XRP I've talked a lot about XRP on this channel because I really want my subscribers to really know what's going on because a lot of people, like they say XRP is a scam, they say, all these different things about XRP, but only like the OGs really know what, the true sentiment is on XRP, the risks, the rewards, all that, and I spent a long time going over that. But for the XRP dump, or for that pump that's supposed to be going on Monday, 8 a.m. 8, what is it, Monday? So tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time is the notification I got, from like a bunch of people, and I was talking about that last night. Um, I just hold like the small amount. I have a very small portion of XRP. Not that, it's one way or the other. Until we get clarity with the SEC, I just personally would invest in something like L Stellar Lumens. Like just personally, what is it, XLM? Like, if that's the route that you're going to want to take, again, but, also to factor in, it's not the best crypto ever because Stellar Lumens is highly correlated with XRP. So if XRP does dump, Stellar Lumens could potentially take a hit, at least in the short term. So that's something to think about. One month Binance chart. I'm not sure. Get out of ETH 1 month Binance chart. Maybe you're talking about like, I don't know. We're I don't know, but like ETH is like, yeah, so yeah, I think it went up like 50% today. And like I had a small amount in that. Basically, I'll hold the line with everybody. I'm not gonna be sus. I'll hold the line with everybody, but I'm not gonna go on another exchange for, a speculative dump. The other way you could do it is you could put a long and essentially like if you were trading the price. And you could long it on Bybit. If you have Bybit, you can long X. Let me make sure because let me pull up my Bybit account right now. Because you used to be able to long XRP on Bybit, but a lot of exchanges took it off. Oh no, you can. Yeah, you can long it. It looks like deposit. Yeah, you can deposit XRP and long it on Bybit. So I mean, not financial advice, but I was telling a buddy of mine essentially, when you're talking about these pumps, if you want to take advantage of something like this, again, like, as soon as that pump starts, you have a super tight stop loss. Like, I'm talking like a 1% stop loss right here. Maybe you do a 5x. Like, here's the thing about Bybit that not, like, I'm not going to just tell you about the price action. I'm not just going to tell you about the news. Like, I'm going to give you the legitimate steps. On Bybit, when you start out, maybe you do like a 2x, leverage long right here. And then as the trade starts to go in your favor, if it starts pumping, you can turn the leverage up to like 5-10%. And something like that, would be relatively decent. And then make sure you have that tight stop loss. Make sure to take your profits. Um, and you could essentially get some massive gains in the finance sector with that XRP pump, possibly. The other thing that you have to think about with that whole XRP thing is the fact that, the institutions also know about it. So it's like, are they going to be scared to short it or are they going to try and short it? You know what I'm saying? It is at 8:30 Eastern time, so that should close the institution. So they're going to be the bots. So they're really hacking the system. They're really messing with the system because a lot of those hedge fund managers are not going to be around. They're going to go home for the day. And so they're either going to have to stay late and, try and short, the everybody that's trying to pump the market, or those bots, like what they're talking about a lot is those bots are just going to get wrecked potentially if people hold the line, and we'll see. Yeah, I sold my XRP right at 30 cents and lost a little bit, but I bought back around. Yeah, that's not a problem at all, That's just like, reducing risk, That was like, it's like when people were holding like Carnival Cruise. Like I know people, who was that one guy? Because I used to be big into stocks. Financial Education was holding Carnival Cruise. I feel so bad for him. It's just one of those, 1 in 100 year events. Like you have this coronavirus and you have this market crash. Like who would have predicted, in 2019 that, this COVID crisis would have happened and then essentially Carnival Cruise would have crashed. Like who would have predicted that? So this guy had like $100,000 into it. And at a certain point, you just got to hit your losses. You got to take your losses. Like bad things happen in the market, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad investor. I mean, they can happen to anybody. And the ability and the discipline to cut those losers and protect your capital, that is something to celebrate about. This is not something, to look on yourself and be like, crap, I lost 30% on XRP. No, you cut your losses and you have the discipline. It could go much lower. It could. It could go much lower. And the fact is, not only that, but it's a FUD scenario. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. A lot of those people that have millions in those big bag holders of XRP, as soon as, like, they know, like, the validity of it and whatnot. But regardless, the price is going to pump if there's a negative, or the price is going to dump if there's a negative, news on the SEC. Like, no matter what, it's just going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, um, we are getting, some selling pressure, but it's on the 1 minute. It's like nothing. I'm not familiar with like what's going on with ETH. I still maybe Carnival will be next. That's funny. I was talking about Hertz possibly being next. And what I was saying is I was saying that what you got to do is you got to get like these Wall Street bets. You got to make a new channel. Like you got to make a new section and you got to have everybody show proof that you're participating in these dumps. So like you have to like to get into like the next group or whatever, you would have to like show that you're like participating in these dumps like with like your buy orders or whatever, like show a picture or whatever. So then they know everybody in the group is participating, and so they can make it more secretive. Because the big thing is a lot of people, have been talking about is like these fund managers. What's stopping a lot of these hedge fund managers from getting together and being like, hey, let's all long, Google stock this week? Nothing. So it kind of is like power to the people type thing. I don't know. But that's just what my thoughts were. It's all very public, and a lot of these people are looking at these forums, but they're not necessarily participating. And so you're giving away what you're gonna do. And you could potentially, your bots are gonna, that you if it's the hedge funds, their bots are gonna eventually catch on potentially. Like they can program their bots, like pre-program them if they know. That's the thing about XRP is like we'll see if the hedge funds aren't really involved with XRP though. So I mean it's a good target for sure. But the owners of XRP that constantly dump the price, I think they're on contract. I know that a lot of different crypto projects, a lot of the owners of the crypto projects are on contracts where they can only dump a certain amount of the tokens that they were rewarded for building the project. They can only dump a certain amount a day or a week or a month. And I think that that's the case with XRP. I'm not entirely sure though, but that would be really interesting to look into. Is are the owners of XRP could potentially dump the price. I mean, they could also be incentivized not to dump the price because if it goes up to $3 and then they sell, but these guys are already like I think multi-billionaires. These guys have a massive amount of XRP and they've been dumping for forever. So just different things to think about with XRP. Like I said, it's just not worth the effort for me to like go long it and go set up another account and all that stuff. It'd be interesting, but that's what I would do if you guys wanted to make some quick money. Potentially. That's what I would do, not financial advice. But yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's just consolidating. Let's take a look at Link. Somebody talked about Link earlier. I told you guys like I love Link on this channel, but it's just like, and see, we went over. This is really the chart that we're looking on Link, and this is really interesting. Essentially, we have this rising wedge essentially breaking down. And so again, like what we would do right here is we would take a look at this, and then we would look at this relative to BTC. We go to Link. I've never heard anybody ever do this. I think we're the only channel that does market dominance for the top cryptos, which is absolutely monumental. So it looks like people are starting to move out of Link. But if you start to get this wick up where people are moving into Link, they're putting their profits into Link, the price is still down, and you have Bitcoin dominance going down. But then at the same time, you got to think to yourself, if Bitcoin dominance is going down, essentially that means that a lot of these alts are pumping, and if a lot of these alts are pumping, then people could be moving their coins from like something like Link into these altcoins. So let's see what. And we were talking about earlier, I'm going to take these off so we can really get this idea in. We were talking about earlier this idea of a double top right here, and these lines right here is what we drew as potential areas to look out for, and it looks like it just wicked this line right here. But essentially, like if it breaks this is going to massively continuate. This is down at 62, 65. If we can hit that level, that's just going to set a lower low and 100% actuate this double top right here. And that is going to be huge for Bitcoin dominance and the altcoin season. But these are all potential levels to be looking for right here as potential. What do we got? This one is this right here, so that would be 63.26, 63.09, 63.02, and then 62.65. Those are all massive levels. Ask me questions about altcoins if you have any altcoins that you're before, when I was getting a lot of questions about altcoins, a lot of people were talking about small caps, and it just wasn't small cap time back then. We could start to go into small caps, but let me look at and see what small caps are harder to deal with because, or no, I have my small cap portfolio. I haven't seen my small cap portfolio pump yet, so I don't think we're in small caps yet, but we could start to go into that as again this idea of a continuation into Bitcoin dominance dropping, if that makes sense. Like if we continue to drop, like if it breaks 62.65, we could start looking for potentially small caps, because we called mid caps like perfectly. We were like mid caps for sure. I just don't have anything on this channel that I want to specifically recommend you guys. I'd rather outsource you guys to Elliott Trades. He's by far probably the biggest like altcoin guy in the space. And I still stand to that. I was just showing you guys what I was in, but like I told you guys, I got like different cost-based averages in back then, so I don't want to you want to get a good coin for a good price. Let's see. Why did Uni and forget the name others shoot up like 40% today? Yeah, so I was talking about this a little bit earlier, and Uni was essentially it's so big into Bitcoin, like into the alt season. Like so, like I was talking about earlier. Like what a lot of people like when they're newer, like they don't understand that like a lot of these mid caps and like what I was talking about like with the small caps potentially as to going into the small caps, most of those coins, if not all those coins, are not going to be found on exchange. Maybe you could get a few on KuCoin, maybe you could get a few on Binance, but most of those coins you're going to have to go through Uniswap. And so that's going to massively increase the user base on Uniswap, essentially adding more value to the ecosystem, if that makes sense. So because we're getting into altcoin season and because we could potentially be moving into small caps, like you could get some mid caps on Coinbase, you could get some mid caps on Kraken, you can get some mid caps on Crypto.com, but once we move into small caps, I mean, you're going to have to really go down to these decentralized exchanges. And I was saying, well, one of the cons is, you have different exchanges, like you have Sushi Swap and you have competition. And I held a little bit of Sushi Swap a little bit ago, but Uniswap is really going to be substantial. And I think a lot of people in crypto are really smart, and I think that's a preemptive move to the fact that it looks like we're definitely going to drop this. And again, these are the levels we're looking at to confirm that. And if we do drop, and Bitcoin dominance does drop, then essentially is going to be small coins, and those small coins are going to be massively big for Uniswap because that's how you're going to get them is through Uniswap. Maybe Carnival, Uniswap. What's that other coin that shot up 40% today? What is it? Let me see. I'm not sure. Um, I bought .6 or so at $5. Uniswap going to keep going up, or is it worth buying at 20 plus? So 20 plus to my like, if I can remember correctly, 20 plus was like what a lot of people's in crypto trading or just like trading in general. You have my phone just died, so I'm not sure what the other crypto was. I can look on CoinGecko, but the the um the thing with crypto trading is you have big evens. So $20 is a huge big even. Like it's a huge monumental stone, and usually a resistance level for. So it did break 20, but um, factoring in big even would be a big thing to think about. And then I guess we can look at the charts. It is in an uptrend, I believe, so that was really good for it. I'm about to invest and thinking to sell my 3 shares of put it into something else. I mean, I'm like the Ethereum guy right now, but really, like, if you want to see the highest ROI, you're gonna want to look at something like a mid cap, possibly a That's funny. Um, like I'm a big Ethereum guy, like personally, but you like to get the highest ROI, you're gonna be looking at like a mid cap or a small cap. And like I would just outsource you like a lot of these guys like on like BitBoy does some and Elliott Trades like sub to their YouTube channels. They're not going to be active right now, but Elliott Trades and BitBoy, they're probably going to be some of the best people to be looking for mid caps to small caps if you want to see the highest ROI. And they'll be going over those. Sometimes Crypto Lark does, and if he does, they're pretty decent. But if you want to go conservative, I mean, I'm betting on Ethereum. But the other thing about Ethereum, and I have to like, obviously give you this, essentially like what's going on, like the backstory, and essentially, if Bitcoin's price closes bearish, on the monthly, then that could drop Ethereum's price as well, which is why we closed out our Ethereum long. It just wasn't worth it. We closed it in some good profits. I think it was yesterday on the channel live, and it just wasn't worth it. Like I wasn't willing to long Ethereum. It just wasn't worth it. Like we had profits, we killed it. Like good job. We could get more gains. It's just not worth it. So like I would say the same thing for anything else. Like I would personally like if you're gonna go with something more conservative like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or if we get a major dump into Bitcoin, a lot of people could move their money from altcoins and move their money into Bitcoin to short Bitcoin, and that would damage altcoin season. So I mean, conservatively, I would be looking into the monthly close and wait for confirmation on that. I would think that would be the biggest thing if you're going to go conservative. If you're not going to go conservative, a lot of these guys are perpetuating the idea that this altcoin season is going to continue and we're just getting started and looking into like mid to small caps, that they're pumping. What's his name? Crypto Chico, and I've talked about this before a lot on the channel. Like, he's good, but like he's like he's so like particular. Like he's not all about like the ROI. Like he's like about like the ethical like staff. Like he said Cardano's not ethical, and so he said he got so much backlash for that. Everybody, he told people not to buy Cardano like a long time ago. He got so much backlash for that. Who else did he say? He said like a bunch of like big. Oh, and he you know, talked a bunch of crap about XRP, and then the XRP community just absolutely trashed him on some of his older videos. But like, so he's pretty good, but he's very conservative, and he's probably not going to return you the best ROI. And a lot of the coins he talks about are smaller cap, and so they're kind of harder to get on the exchange. Probably BitBoy, probably Crypto Lark, probably Elliott Trades is probably going to be your best bet. I mean, they're not going to be you know, on right now. At least I would be incredibly surprised if that was the case. So, but like me personally, if you ask me, like personally, what I'm doing, I would wait for the monthly close. I am waiting for the monthly close. If it's bullish, you know, I'll put money into Ethereum or Bitcoin. And if it's bearish, then essentially let's wait for the correction, see where that bottom is. We can find the bottom, buy the bottom, and then essentially ride that up. Let's see. Key boy, how old are you? Like Cardano, you look little. How old are you? I'm 21. Girlfriend. I already own some Cardano, and it's going to shoot up once it's finished. Smart contracts. Yeah, smart contracts, programmable logic. Yeah, it's great. And you know, when you look at, you know, Charles Hopkins, he has one of the most active most active projects. So Polkadot and Cardano are some of the most like he's gonna get that. He's a really smart guy, and he has an incredible team. He's definitely gonna get that Goguen finished. I'm excited for that. And yeah, once mainnet launches, I totally agree with you. There's just speculative investors. Like it does. Like Cardano is so inevitably going to the moon. Like, but yeah, that's funny. Let's see. I'm hoping TLX shoots up. What can you remind me what TRX is? Sorry, my phone's not working. I could Google it, but what is TRX? I just can't remember off the ticker symbol, or Elon tweets about it either. Or I'm having a hard time with the ticker symbols. I've been holding. Um, I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. Coinbase. Or no, CoinGecko. Look at, I'm typing in Cardano. I always want to know what was going on with my Cardano when I was first in it. Alright, CoinGecko. TRX. Oh, Tron. Okay, so yeah, Tron, you know, there's been a lot of hate. I think BitBoy was the one that was really just flaming Tron. Heavy. Um, BitBoy. What a savage. And then Verg. Shoot. What is Verg? I don't think I've seen Verg. I'm not going to comment on it just because I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to pretend like I know. Potato is your girlfriend. Nah. Tron. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see what you got. I'm hoping Sean Battery from LOL hodling. Yeah, hodl strong, brother. I'm not selling for scraps. Nice, nice. I'm a huge hodler. I can never hate on anybody that's hodling for, you know, if you believe in your project, you know, massive respect to the, you know, XRP hodlers, massive respect to Cardano hodlers. We had a freaking cold bear winter. I was accumulating. I felt like, I don't even know. I was accumulating when it was 10 cents. It felt like it was never going to go up. No, I'm a dude, bro. Alright. um, yeah. Hodl strong. you know, because it's, you know, altcoin seasons, you know, we're gonna have more of them. Let's see. Let's see. What else we got? Um, you know, I always want to look at Google, like with Market Cipher, because I'm a big Google guy, but I don't think so on this channel. I'm just so like, this is mostly a crypto channel right now. I'm gonna keep it like that. And then once we get into the bear market, I could be potentially looking to short Bitcoin. Potentially, once we hit into the bear market, potentially we'll see how the sentiment is on that. We'll see the, you know, what the charts are saying. Because like if we get into like a definitive on the monthly, like downtrend and things like that, you know, that could be a good idea. Um, and then once this, we'll probably do real estate. And I'll break down real estate. I've broken down real estate a lot on some of my other channels, and I'll probably buy a house, go over the house, like, you know, the equity, all that different stuff, you know, 70% rule, 50% rule, um, what are all the rules? The 1% rule, like all the different stuff with real estate. Once we get into crypto bear market, but I'm gonna be covering crypto right now because that's by far the hottest topic. Like not just in popularity, but what's good. All right, yeah. So that's bearish, and it just looks like we're consolidating. Yeah, definitely consolidating on at least the 4 hour on Bitcoin. And again, we're looking for this support level right here. So 32,977, huge support level. We have a lot of support flipped resistance ideas on that level. And then we're looking at this upper trend line right here, potentially as support or resistance. And we basically, before we can understand like what's going to go on, you know, in the future, whether we're going to continue to fall or we're going to break through resistance, we got to see how the market reacts to these levels. Market Cipher on the 4 hours calling a top right here, saying we're going down. Look at that huge doji. Got a hammer. This is just consolidation though. I mean, look at it. You got this hammer stick, which is essentially the exact opposite of a falling star, basically indicating a possible reversal type scenario. And then you have this doji right here, which is, you know, like counterintuitive. And then you have this ginormous bearish engulfing because you have this doji. So like a bearish engulfing is like the amount that it engulfs like the previous candlestick, and obviously because this is a doji, it just absolutely massively obliterates, and it drops the wick, which is even more substantial. And we just like slowly, it's been just ranging right here for the past 4 hours. There's just not really buying pressure. There's not really selling pressure, and on top of that, the volume's falling off a cliff. Let's see. What's your name? Hustle Investor Pete. So hustle, like make money, you know, whatever you're doing, and then invest it. You know, like right now we're investing into cryptocurrency, and then repeat because that's like what's gonna make you wealth over the long term. That's what's, you know. What about the JA rule? LOL, JA. I'm having a hard time with, I don't know what JA is. JA rule. I can look it up. JA. JA rule. Hmm. Because you're not talking about crypto. You just kept asking if he has a girlfriend and he's not interested. Also, spelled incorrectly. You're just spamming, and I don't think you're interested in learning about crypto. What's the JA rule? JA. It was a joke. The rapper JA rule. I was gonna say I don't know anything about that. For sure, for sure. So yeah, we're just looking at all these different moving averages that we could potentially find support on the 4 hour. Right here, we could potentially have a bullish cross right here. So we did have a bullish cross right here, but you know, these are market ciphers. So this would be, let's see, we're going to take off market cipher A, and then we're going to just look specifically at these moving averages. So this is an absolutely massive one right here. Let's see, let's take this off right here. So this is one of the best ones to look at. This is the 50 and the 200. Dang, it's still on. Let's see if I can take this off and take this one off. Then we'll take off the Bollingers right now. EMA ribbon, 50, Bollinger, and then SMA. Take that off. Oh, there we go. So let's see. Awesome. So awesome. So essentially these are two of the most significant moving averages. Because it's consolidating a lot of these bigger moving averages have a lot more time to converge in on the smaller moving averages, and you can get some massive moves. So let's take a look at some of the other time frames. That's on the 4 hour, then you got the 1 hour. And essentially we're looking for the white line, which is the 50 MA, to cross above the purple line. And it looks like we nearly have that right here, but it's just not. That's something that we'd potentially be looking for in the coming hours. That would be huge. Let's see, 30-minute. Alright. Yeah, so essentially we're looking for this line right here, this white line, to cross above this purple line. And then if it crosses below it, then that is bearish. Let's see. This purple line's way up here. So this is a lot of what I used to do when I was really early into trading, is I would go and I'd look through all the different time frames for these different moving averages. So I'd start with like this is the MA, and I would switch to like the EMA. Okay, so right here you have a bearish cross right here, and then this is actually built into the system here. You might be able to see it better right here. This is actually built into the system to show that this is a cross, and because this is the 50 and this is the 200, and the 50, which is the smaller time frame, is going below the 200, you essentially have a bearish cross right here. But then the fact that this is a bearish cross right here and you have a continuation of the uptrend shows how strong this uptrend is. This is one of the strongest indicators. So if it ever, if you have a golden cross or a bullish cross and the price action looks like it's ignoring it, it's not necessarily ignoring it. It's just saying that whatever the trend is right now is extremely strong, and then vice versa the other way. Alright, let me charge my laptop. And then we're going to be looking at the what did we just looked at the MA, so we can look at the EMA, and then I'll save the SMA for another time. I don't think it's relatively important. This could just dictate the price action in the relative term. So this is a great one right here to just look at. So and then I'm just going to color code it so we know. So the lighter the color, the smaller the moving average is how we always color code it on this channel, so it's very clear and easy to understand. So the lighter the color. So it looks like we did have nearly a golden cross back here. And it looks like, yeah, right there. And there was some continued downside, but it looks like they're pretty spread apart right now just with the consolidation. Let's see, so that's 5 minute, 15. Let's see. What program do you use for charting? I know you said you pay for the expense add-on Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, so I use TradingView, and then I have the premium package on TradingView, so it's like a $60 a month expense. But you can get there's multiple different packages. There's the Pro and the Pro Plus, and the Pro we just set a lower low, so this is going to continue to go down. Most likely it's bearish in the short term, but essentially there's Pro and there's Pro Plus, and I believe Pro gives you the ability to use 3 indicators, so like you'd be able to get 3 of these at one time on your chart. And then I believe Pro Plus does something like 6 or 9 indicators. And then I have Premium, which gives me the ability to put 25 indicators, I think, on the chart. And then I believe Pro gives you the ability to have indicators, but I don't know if you can get different, like, you can pull up like different charts. Like a lot of people like to have different charts pulled up, and I think later in the channel we're gonna start pulling up like the DXY. I just, a lot of my guys are a little bit newer, and I want to wait for them to be more experienced with me on the channel before we really start looking into different charts. But essentially, I don't think Pro can pull up different charts at one time, but I think Pro Plus can pull up to 4 charts at one time. And then I think Premium gives you the ability to pull up to 8 charts at one time. I've never used all 8 charts. And then there's certain indicators that like are for Premium members, and then most of them though, like all the basic ones that like, I use a lot of fancy indicators. Like this one's really helpful, but like, like trying to think, like Super Trend, Ichimochi, like all those are cute and they're fluffy and they're fun, and that's a lot of the reason why I bring them onto this channel, and I know how to read them and they can be useful. But really, like as a trader, you really want to go off of like MACD, RSI, and we can start going off of MACD divergences, RSI divergences, and if you guys want more like of that kind of content, I can definitely provide it. The reality is in the space is just a lot of people don't have the market cipher that I have. Market cipher is like a 500 to 600, like a $500 indicator. I think it might still be on sale for 400, like at the cheapest, and I think you can only get it for like 4 months or 5 months at $400 if it's even still on sale. But so one of the massive benefits of following this channel is I'm always streaming. I'm always using Market Cipher, so you guys get you get that indicator. You guys get to see, the validity of the indicator, and you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay $400 out of pocket. You can literally watch my videos and literally watch me not only have Market Cipher, but I'm also very good and understand Market Cipher, so I can read it for you. Which is absolutely massive. But if you guys want that more traditional RSI, that more traditional MACD. Those things are built into Market Cipher, and like I'm trained to read them. Like it's basically all the indicators in one essentially. But if you want that more traditional, because you guys are going to start trading and you want that more traditional like learning, I can bring up the RSI and MACD and put those into videos so that you guys can see me using it, and so you guys can learn how to do that if that's what you're interested in. All right. What programs? I don't know his name. Can you please kick Banny from the chat? They just keep spamming. It's annoying. I don't know exactly how to kick people from the chat. I would, but I don't know how to do that. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure how to kick people from the chat. But if you know how to kick people from the chat, I could definitely. But I think I'm gonna end it for tonight just because Bitcoin's consolidating. It looks towards a downtrend, and then essentially we're just testing this line right here at 32,971. And so here's the like whole rundown of the situation. It looks like we're consolidating. Let's see. It looks like we really want to break these to break this like uptrend ideas. But if we can break this level right here at 33,551 and 33,482, we're most likely going to head down and touch this level right here. If we can hit 32,977, come down and hit this area and then bounce off of it, that would be extremely bullish. And it could be a fake out, and we could retest it. But essentially, if we have this, and essentially we hit it, and then there's a lot of volume to support that bounce, that would be a very good side for Bitcoin. And again, like Bitcoin's technical analysis right now is massively important because it's not necessarily do we care about like this or that or any of this. What we care about is Bitcoin continuing to maintain these higher levels. If Bitcoin does hit this level right here, come down, hit it again, hit it as resistance, not be able to break above this level, and then continue down lower, that's not going to be good. That's going to head us down into that $32,000 range, and we have the potential to close a bearish candlestick, which on the monthly chart, which is what we are massively concerned about on this channel right now. I'm not concerned in like a scary way. Like we closed all our long positions. Like I'm diversified as much as I want to be, and we're fine. It's not like that. It's just we're concerned as in, for the market, like what's going on with the market. That's what we're really looking at is the monthly chart. And so how Bitcoin interacts with these levels is going to be massive just because it's going to have an impact on. I'll have to look around more for free content. Maybe I'll look on for something like $11 course. I'm sure they have something on chart reading. Yeah, I mean, best bet for sure is going to be the best bet for sure is going to be getting a book. And like even if you don't like reading, like they have like the pictures of the charts usually. Investopedia, I don't know if you looked into Investopedia, but I would definitely not recommend like skipping over that. Like Investopedia, they have some gorgeous articles on trading in general. And again, like if you dip into like the forex trading, like those support resistance consolidation, like there is forex trading that I see some of the biggest crypto traders in the space use. Like there's relevancy from that. And then stock market trading again, those are both massive tools to be learning. So books would definitely be your best bet. I've taken a few courses. When I was really, because I would trade like $10,000 on a trade sometimes on like 10x leverage. So I took some courses on trading a long time ago, and they're not really worth the money. I mean, unless you have like massive bucks that you're trading, then you can just make the money back and you can see it more as an investment. But you learn so much, I would think, just like being on this channel and then matching that up with books, like if you're reading books and then you come on this channel and you hear about all the TA that we talk about on this channel, a lot of it's gonna click. You're gonna be like, oh, he was just talking about this. Oh, he was just talking about this on MACD. Oh, he was just talking about this on ROI or on RSI. Um, and I think I do a really good job on this channel of trying to tell you, like, not only like, this is the price action. I'm not only saying like, this would be a bearish idea, but I also show you guys, okay, well, this right here is the lower time frame moving average. If you go on and you look at this moving average, this is the 20-day moving average right here, and then this right here is the 200-day moving average. So what you'd call this is a death cross, and essentially this is the lowest moving average crossing below the highest moving average. And I do things like that, and I hope that that really helps, like, you understand, like, not just like, oh, well, this is a death cross and then that's all the information you get. No, I try to explain everything. In the lowest moving average crosses below the highest moving average, that's considered a death cross, and that's a bearish cross, indicating downwards momentum. You know what I'm saying? So I went to their learning section on their website only so far, which they charged me for, but I'll look into articles. Oh, they charged you? There should be free. Let me look it up. Frick. It just should be free. Like a lot of articles should be free. I went to their learning section on their website so far, which they charged me for, but I'll look at the articles. Yeah, it's the articles. It's the articles. I'll check out some more books. Any recommendations? A lot of the stuff I'll have to like look into what I've read because I have a lot of it on PDF. But a lot of the books were like chart perform like I said before, like last night, it said like chart formations or like chart patterns or like candlestick patterns. Like there will literally be books on candlestick patterns, and you don't have to read through the entire book. Like when I was really into it, like I was reading through the entire book, but like just to like start learning and stuff, you just need to get those basic candlestick patterns. You just need to get those basic chart formations, and then once you learn, you'll be able to be like, oh, this kind of looks like a head and shoulders, like this kind of looks like a shoulder, this looks like a head, this looks like another shoulder. Potentially you have like the neckline right here, or you'll just look at the charts, and then you'll start playing around with what different things look like. Like you'll be like, oh, look at, you isolate this right here, you have a high, lower high, lower high, this looks like a downtrend, and then low, lower low, lower low, this looks like a downtrend right here, and you could draw a trading channel downwards. You'll read the books, and then you'll apply it to the markets, and it'll start to make sense, and then you'll start to comfortably start identifying what things are in the market, and that's when you're golden. But so yeah, the books, like I can't remember anything. I believe like exactly, like one of the books I read was like Technical Analysis for Dummies, and it was written by a Rockefeller, and it was terrible. But it did give all the basics. Um, let's see. They were mostly like, my phone's dead right now, so I can't like look up for you, or I would, the PDFs that I have on different books. But if you read like a Forex book, like that's not terrible. I'd recommend like a patterns book to start out with, like looking, and you can just Google it, trading patterns book. And you want to look for you want to be able to read head and shoulders, you want to be able to read cup and handle, you want to be able to read double tops, you want to be able to read those basic patterns, and then on top of that you want to be able to identify uptrends, downtrends, like that basic stuff, and you should get those. I have a really good book on it. I'll have to show it to you. I just ask me again in another live stream, because when my phone's, I'll pull it up for you in my next live stream if you catch me whenever. Just ask me. I have a really good book on charts and reading charts, and it really breaks it down. It's almost boring how good this book is. They even come in with like percentages of like different, what were the percentages that they were reading? I think it was like a percentage on everything, because chart reading is like a percentage based thing. Like it's not like guaranteed. But when it's confirmed by volume, it's nearly guaranteed. But and that's why they call it confirmation with volume. But um, just remind me next stream. My phone's dead, but I'll pull it up on Google Drives. I have a really good book on it. Yeah. I'll be on probably tomorrow. Should be on tomorrow. And then, yeah, just ask me. I'll pull it up on my phone. I have a PDF, and it's a really good book, and I'll recommend you that. If not, I think I could just literally send it to you, possibly. I don't know, because I got it, I downloaded it from a guy, so I might be able to send it to you. So, um, I'll get those books for you tomorrow. My phone's literally just dead. Like it's like an Android, but it's dead. Um, alright, so I'm out for tonight. Again, we're looking at these two levels on this channel. This is mainly what we're looking for. Potential resistance, potential support. We need to get an overlay for sure so we can see the charts while charting. Well, chat. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely get working on that. I was thinking that literally, I think yesterday or the day before. I just saw somebody else in the channel and I was like, we need that so bad. All right, boys. Have a good night. Don't be stressing about Bitcoin before you make your move. I mean, I would look for, what we're doing on this channel is we're looking to see if Bitcoin's gonna have a bullish or a bearish close on the monthly. The second that Bitcoin hits like a bullish close, we're buying essentially. If it hits a bearish close, we're essentially waiting for that dump, and we're gonna stay away from the market on this channel if we get a bearish close on the monthly. It's just not worth it. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, boys. Have a good one.